That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 149 of Pen and Pixels. It is D&D with GOG, and the time has come for all of us to be brought together into the awesomeness that is Storm King's Thunder Special Halloween Edition. Before we reveal some of the awesomeness, I don't know what you're talking about with screenshots. I don't know why we would need screenshots or what possibly could be an issue with that. But before we get to this totally normal outfits that we're all dressed as, it is important to talk a little bit about what's going on in this channel as far as things you could do to help. If you haven't done so already, please follow the stream. That is always much appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please make sure as well to subscribe, as Tasty Chai was kind enough to just do. To subscribe to GOG, you get awesome emotes, you get those awesome sub badges, you support the DRM free community, you support all of us. It's all good. Everybody wins. And then last but certainly not least, make sure to please click through and check out all of the individual groups and things like that we've got going on, the individual streamers that we have, because we all have our own Patreons and subsystems and things like that, and all of us do a lot of streaming during the week as well on our own individual channels, and if you're able to check that out, that would be much appreciated. And so now the question I have for you, chat, is are you ready? Are you hyped for what you are about to see? That's my question, chat. How much hype do you possess? How much hype is there? Is there hype that defines hype? How much hype can a hype with a hype? That is a lot of hype. That is a lot of hype from Echo. Suddenly number. Hype much, Tormbo. It's okay. There's a love, there's a heart. I'll take the heart. But there we go. See, now we start to see some of the magic in it. There we go. All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. We will begin by the reveal. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. I want to point out to all of you that this cloak is handmade. It was made by my mother in the days of my youth, when I was still 6'3" and weighed about 75 pounds soaking wet. And I am pleased that this cloak is still functional and works. It is not a blanket. This is a cloak. Look at this. Does this look like a blanket? Does that look like a blanket to you? Does this look like a blanket? This is a cloak, man. All right? It's a cloak. It goes, look, it goes all the way up. See? A cloak. Notice? That is what I'm talking about. A blanket. Look, man. It's not a big blanket. It's a cloak. It is a cloak. It's a combination. His cloak is a blanket you wear. You guys are all right. Yes, that's very, very funny. No, I am wearing a cloak in honor of what you were about to see, and I am very excited. And if you think that this is not bad, where are my fake fangs? I do not have fake fangs. I also could not find my staff. So you succeeded. But I am very pleased to be able to show you the rest. So chat, you have seen me. I will be representing as the Dungeon Master. I will be in this cloak, which, by the way, is heavy and hot. Let me just say, it is freaking heavy and it is hot and all that stuff. But last time I checked Draconic, but I don't know if I want to go down that route too far. But that said, the time has come, people, because the reason we did this in the first place, as I unmute myself so that the folks know that we're just about ready to go, the reason we did this in the first place was because, I want to say about a month ago or so, we were doing this, and it was very important to Pyron that we be able to boost our subscriptions, and so she came up with the idea completely on her own of wanting to dress up in a costume. I'm completely lying. This is not true. But we were able to convince her that it would be a good idea if she were willing to cosplay. And so because we do not want to let our beloved stream team leader on her own here, we have all decided to dress up in respect for this. And so, chat, please be ready. Please be prepared. I have unmuted them, and I'm now going to go over. Get ready for it. 3, 2, 1. Ha ha! That's what I'm talking about. I am very pleased to present the GOG stream team in, as you've never seen them before, I think it's fair to say, as clips right now and screenshots are going all across the internet. It is very exciting to see it. I am super pleased to show that, and all of these are great. I really, the first one I actually saw was Saber, and he just said "Hail and well met," and I had no idea until I clicked to the Zoom window what he was really going to look like. It was really great. But it is very great. Yeah, what a luxurious beard. I know. I am very excited. I'm looking forward to all of this. This is the GOG stream team crew that has been playing D&D with me for quite a while now and has been having a lot of fun with it. These folks are great. We even have one of them who is one of the walking wounded. Kanger with the subscription. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my god, the 5 tier 1 subs. Inanda has given the 5 tier 1 subs. That's what happens. See, when Pyron dresses up, this is what happens. And Pyron said if it worked well, she might be doing this every stream. See, this is how it works. Oh, good times. I'm going to get back to Discord to be like, Dear Arv, you're fired. Signed. Fired. That's how that works. Thank you so much for doing the gift subs. Thanks, everybody. I do have a streamer introduction, which I have from Echo as well, but I will read that after I allow them to introduce themselves. And I will begin with Dragon Jade, might be the way to describe it. Dragon Jade might be the way to talk about it before. And that is playing the role of Pyron Jade today in the window right below me. And Pyron, how are you? How is your dragon? Your dragons. How are your multiple dragons, I guess I would ask.
I am fine, thank you. Although I have to admit, the mask puts a lot of pressure on my poor nose, so I'll see how it goes. Anyway, chat, I kept my promise. Here is the Dragon Pyron. And yeah, I would say I'm fine. I always enjoy our Halloween stuff with the Halloween bot going on and everything. And so yeah, I'm really, really happy with everything right now. Like everything, all of it.
All of it is good. I'm excited. Who are you playing besides Dragon in D&D? Who are you playing today, Pyron?
I assume I'm still playing as Greta Goldenfire, who I assume is still a dwarf. Dwarven cleric of Foltos, may his light shine on the way, and I'm very happy traveling with her party, with currently Urash being a little bit beside himself.
Right.
And a pony, and yeah, so I think also for Greta, things are currently going very well.
That's true. Also because you've been getting basically the spa treatment as you're hanging out in this pool with Quick Bark watching Standing Watch. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit after a rather unfortunate fall into the middle of a huge forest. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Always a pleasure to have Pyron with us, who did indeed keep her promise. Moving right down the line, we have Gandalf. Clearly, the love of the Hobbit's leaf has altered your mind. What is going on? What I believe is Darksaber 2K behind that beard. I have to say, Saber, I know you've had that beard for a while. I just don't think it's ever been quite as impressive or as luxurious or, frankly, as gray as it is today. And so I'm curious if you could talk about how you manage that. Is this a sort of hair restoration technique? Like how can you describe how you got to this this amazingness that you possess today? How'd you do any of this?
Lots of stress.
Lots of stress. Overnight. This is
what scientists are calling an actual miracle.
This is really awesome. Yeah, make sure Pyron doesn't breathe fire on your beard. That's true.
That is actually true. Or Greta, for that matter. Like, I'm losing out either way here.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. You don't want Greta, exactly, either in or out of character. So how's life been for you? How are you doing, Saber, and who are you playing today?
Life's been really good. I've managed to drag myself away from Stellaris, where I'm on my 8th game I've started since.
I noticed that.
And I'm currently slowly dissolving underneath this because it's getting quite hot.
so is mine. Why are all costumes hot? I don't understand.
Seriously? The worst idea was the one Halloween when I decided to do my Halloween stream as a pirate with an eye patch.
Oh.
Never do that. You cannot play with an eye patch. It was so
depth perception, fire. Oh, why am I shooting you? Yeah, exactly.
Would have been a good excuse for
yes,
me.
That's true. That's true.
Play on the eye patch.
And who are you playing, sir?
I am obviously Sir Ian McKellen.
Yes, exactly.
Who today will be portraying Selsig Mauer.
So you have chosen death. Okay. Outstanding. I look forward to doing that and making lots of Gandalf jokes. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how we all handle roasting by the time we hit that. Also, big fan of the barrel mug. I have to say in this context. Yeah, you shall not pass. Oh man, they're hot because it's another layer of clothes. No, dude, no, it's not that. It's that they make these, like, I don't know, God bless my mother, God rest her spirit and all that, but like she had sewn into this when I was a kid, this like really awesome like lining and everything, which is great. But it means that, you know what it is? It's literally a winter cloak. Like I literally could wear this and be warm on a winter's day. So we need to get cloaks back into popular circulation stat. Like we need to have cloaks be an awesome thing again, because it's actually warm enough that this would be fine on a winter's day. Like not even joking. However, in late October in my office, not so much. Anyway, but it's great to have Saber with us. I'm looking forward to seeing how Selsig / Gandalf. I like to think that this is just your third or fourth different possible class that you can play. Like it's like, I'm actually a wizard. I can't wait to see how this works. Unfortunately, Screaming Joypad is not able to be with us. He has got a family commitment, so he's not able to join us today, which is a shame because I was looking forward to seeing what his costume was going to be. Maybe we can prevail on him to be the only one who wears a costume next time while we're all, in normal clothing so we don't overheat. We will see. But normally he plays Urash, who has been an amazing part of the team and the part of the group, but he is not with us today. And that brings us down to someone who is the walking wounded, as I said, just back from TwitchCon, fighting off Con Crud, but is a trooper and will manage nonetheless. Chai, how are you? I love the costume. So how was TwitchCon? Like, was it all that in a bag of chips, or how was it?
Well, it was at least a bag of chips.
Okay.
If not all that in a bag of chips. It was a lot of fun, though. It was well worth going. Of course, I hung out with some GOG people and my people and did some stuff. Stuff happened. And then Crud happened. And now I am congested. So that's fun.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that. I'm glad, however, that you did remember the time change and all that, and so there was no problem, and we were all good to go. I'm about twice as loud as everyone else. Am I really? Okay. Well, I don't want that. Let's see. Why would that be? Zoom is really high. I don't know. Let me turn down my microphone.
We need to speak to the back.
You must project. Okay, let me turn that down. How's that? Is that a little bit better? No, I don't want everyone to just start shouting. I want to calm myself down.
Yeah.
All of you. Okay. How's that? Is that any better? Test 1, test 2. Is that any better for everybody? Is that better for
down with the time change?
Down to the time change. It is true.
Yes. Oh yes.
The time
please.
change is so stupid. Like nobody does this. Okay, much better. Good.
Seriously, it is stupid. And then the US changes a week later than the EU does, which is really bad for the stream team because it means that we're like 1 hour off from our usual schedule for 1 week each year,
Yep.
2 times a year.
Yep,
And it
exactly.
usually just messes with our schedule big time. It's just so horrible.
It's frustrating. Like I don't understand. And the thing is that there's absolutely no reason for it anymore under the circumstances. It's really not doing what it should be doing. And then they made it in America start even earlier in the year for no reason. So anyway, regardless, we are going to soldier on nonetheless. Chai, who are you playing today?
I am playing River, a silver dragonborn with a strong affinity for food, who is also a part of the Harpers and is also apparently starting a gambling rink with Selsig. So that's fun.
Yes, that is going to be a good time. And at the moment, both she and the rest of the party are, with the exception of Urash, who is currently contemplating things in Loudwater, but the rest of the party is currently in the High Forest. And
Yes, that is what happened. I fell.
yes, long you fell, indeed. You were fighting a Balrog. That was Selsig, yeah. You were fighting a Balrog. Wrapping up the finishing touches. Well, okay, quickly, Echo, because I need to get started here. So if you want your introduction to be an introduction, let's make it happen. It's going to be all good and all that. I go up.
I'm all alone. That's what happened.
Yeah, well, let me do so I'll do the recap and then we'll do the introduction. Echo should be done by then. So recap is as follows. So the overall recap, you'll have to look at Pen and Pixels, my playlist on my YouTube channel, where we are up to, hard to believe, episode 149 right now of this, which is amazing that it's been going that long. But episode 149 of Pen and Pixels. And this crew has for some time been trying to figure out the mystery of the giants, why the giants are acting strangely, why they are attacking civilizations, why they have come together in some unified way, why they are challenging and attacking much of the Sword Coast, and what that can be done to stop it. The party has gone to various places and locations to try to determine this, but finally got a lead when they determined that a adventuring party called Force Grey, and specifically a member, maybe, although it's not clear, of that party called Harshnag, might have more information for them about Artist Cimber, who was the character that possesses the Ring of Winter, this thing that apparently might be part of what is causing the giants to be driven mad. That and perhaps some internal political shenanigans that are not yet 100% clear. And so the party decided that they would go try to track down information about Harshnag, and the only real information that they had was to head east to some of the major civilization centers. There were some rumors that he might have gone, Artist Cimber, to the Great Peak Mountains, and so the party decided that they would travel to Loudwater to be able to gather information there. However, something unfortunate sort of happened on the way, which is that while the party actually got down to Loudwater, by which I mean River and Selsig, Greta came separately, and when Greta was riding over the forest on the back of Kalismana, their friendly neighborhood good dragon, there was an attack on Kalismana, or something where Kalismana had to basically veer out of the way to avoid this attack, flipped over almost, and Greta ended up falling from his back and plunging into the heart of the High Forest, which you can see there. The High Forest is the largest forest on the Sword Coast. It is hundreds of miles in diameter, and so it didn't necessarily look good for the home team. But somehow Greta survived the fall with some injuries but not dead, and found herself being looked after by a very strange individual, Quickbark, which looks essentially like a massive tree, that was essentially telling her that he was one of the guardians of the forest, and she, after speaking with him, he said that he would bring her to try to get her rested and more healthy, and perhaps could even give some information about where they could track down the location of the Ring of Winter and Artist Cimber and that sort of thing by going to what is called Shadowtop Cathedral, somewhere in the High Forest. The benefit of having a big, enormous tree creature with you is that this one claims that he is part of the sort of guardians of the forest and knows everything within the forest, and so she has kind of an escort, I guess you might say. But first she needed to be healed, and so she was placed into this pool and looked after by him as she drifted off into some wonderful, blissful dreams. In the meantime, Selsigmar and River had reached Loudwater successfully and were trying to cross over the bridge into Loudwater, but were repeatedly attacked by flying fish. And by attacked, I mean there were fish flying over the edge of the bridge and sort of smacking them in the face. And the guards were having a, good old time sort of laughing about all of this. And when they finally decided that they, were going to have to figure out another way to get over into the town, which seemed to be largely closed off, Kalismana noted the appearance of this forest bat, I believe it was, that was their guide and basically was wanting them to follow them. So they got onto the back of Kalismana. Kalismana flew them back following the bat, and they eventually found themselves in a clearing within the High Forest, getting off of the back of Kalismana and following the bat a little bit further into the forest. They found themselves near this beautiful pool in which Greta Goldenfire herself was lying apparently asleep with a peaceful expression on her face. And the last thing that they heard from Quickbark was, from this big tree creature, was him calling himself Quickbark, that was his name, and saying that they had come to his home. And so as we bring this back to the party here, we are ready to go to see what happens now that they've actually arrived. And now I will, having stretched this out as far as I could, I will look and see if this is ready. So Echo, are we ready here? Are we ready? Because I got to go. We're ready. All right. Okay, here it is. Let's make it happen. Let's see. Okay. Here is the, let me move this over here. Okay, so here we go. Here is the streamer introduction. Let's see. Oh my God, both pages? All right. Define those travels as one can, and tonight none can, for there is sinister afoot. Am I doing both of these, Echo, or am I just doing the second one? Am I doing both paragraphs or the first one? Tell me which, because I want to make sure that I know which one I'm doing. Am I reading both? I'm doing both. Okay. Define those travels as one can. Tonight none can, for there is sinister afoot, darkness in the forest, shadows in the drift. Cursed be these three travelers, for they lack a fourth. What has become of our Urash? Nobody knows. Only the screams of a haunting joypad remains. For since then, much has occurred. Much has been escalating quickly. There was once the beacon of Fultus, who shined with the utmost fiery light upon all, being the symbol of the sun. She was a dwarven cleric of caring nature, motherly instincts, and a dragon mask, I made that part up, and protective of her companions by name of Greta Goldenfire. If crossed, you would suffer her wrath of fiery light. But forsaken, she had become a mere husk of her former self, for Pyron Jade has succumbed to the twisted whispers from the infinity and beyond, twisted and transformed into a dragon, into a mere vessel, carrying Tiamat, the chromatic queen of evil dragons, whom a group of fine adventurers once slain. I need to take notes about this. Greta is possessed by the dragon. Okay. Alongside this mere vessel of Tiamat was one fine scoundrel. He was the financial advisor, the sleazy, shady halfling thief who now had descended into madness, into the shadows on a string of murders. Known no more as Celsig Mar, he was known now as the Ranger Ripper, and yet there was something slimy about him lingering in Neverwinter, a lurking presence indeed. But elsewhere, as the high forest was set ablaze, the evil tore asunder this beloved silver dragon, as corruption tainted this fine, joyful, cheery, and insatisfiable river for the chai. Within her was no more. The tasty was tainted. This is troubling. What evil has succumbed upon our heroes and adventurers? Halloween, for it is the night before Halloween. And to all, we wish you a happy Halloween. And tonight, Arvin Elleron and the GOG D&T team bring you a special D&D session, Halloween edition, courtesy of Geronimo403, who gifted the 16 subs. That's true. Thank you, Geronimo, for the 16 subs. Who is what? Type in ! Party and embrace the knowledge. And the Dungeon Master himself wearing his cloak of knowledge, providing a +5 to lore. That's a ballpark figure. But enough for evil lingers in the evening horror. For where is Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, Screaming Joypad, and Tasty Chai? Type in ! Host and thus be found. But enough, as we have awaited with patience for this extraordinary event on this mischief eve, very night before Halloween. Again, happy Halloween. Stay mischievous, stay awesome, stay DRM free, stay committed, and upon us to inspire further and ruin our wallets, the GOG Halloween sale is on. This is also true. Now we must chant to begin. As hungering, chatty children we are, we desire our Halloween GOG D&D. So the sky is blue, the grass is green. May we have our Halloween. Thank you very much, Echo. Very good stuff as always. Epic is the way I would describe it. Nicely done. And with that introduction, I now bring this back over to the party. So Pyron is lying in the pool, and Chai and Saber, you can see her in this pool, and you've just had this creature, Quickbark, speak to you and is sort of apparently waiting for a response. And now I'll hand it back
I'm
over to
still
you.
fully dressed, right?
You are, well, you are dressed in clothing that is appropriate for the conditions, so you're not naked, if that's your concern.
Yeah,
Yes, you're not naked.
good.
Yeah. But it's up to you. What do you guys want to do? Saber and Chai,
Should we
Celsig and River there.
Go to her?
Well, you're standing right near her, actually, but she's in the pool. But Quickbark is the one who just reached down and said hello and that this is his home. And I say I'm going to keep saying Pyra now because I'm going to keep looking over and seeing dragons and I'm all confused. And Greta is going to be there.
Why would you think Pyrin when you see a dragon?
Well, no, because now I'm just sort of like, oh no, you're playing. What? I'm just, it's great. It's great. So, yes. So Quickbark has spoken. Greta is lying, floating in the pool with a peaceful expression on her face. What do you want to do?
Did that tree just talk?
Yes, I believe he did. Either that or you're drunk.
Not nearly enough for drunk talking trees. I'd probably say I'll just walk over to Greta, try and poke her. Is she within stick poking distance?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, stick poking then. Yeah.
All right, so Greta, you
Boiling
feel
water again.
you feel yourself being poked by a stick.
Well, she's alive. Now just sit down, start eating.
Can I drag her, or is she like it's too deep and I can't get in there unless I can swim?
I wouldn't say that it's too deep, but you would need to actually drag. I mean, you would need to either wade into the pool or like reach out because it's not like a huge pool, but she's not like a foot from the shore either.
I'm not gonna eat her. Well, I think we should like try to. Can we hook her with the stick? How's our stick?
I don't know that the stick is a hook type of stick, but you could.
Brown and sticky.
What?
Did you just say it's sticky?
It's sticky.
What's brown and sticky? A stick.
I don't even.
Joke.
I don't even know what to say.
Wasted on this audience.
So you hear above you, or behind you, should say, I don't know much about creatures of your kind, but I understand they are probably not well suited to being poked by sticks. Indeed, I wonder why you have come. Who are you exactly?
I may be having something of an identity crisis right now.
You seem confused to me, as if you are both a halfling and a wizard. Perhaps Mithran Bilbo, dear Gandalf Frodo. Something.
Definitely something.
You're too loud.
And he says, are you speaking that to Quickbark, Byron?
I'm speaking that into the
ether?
darkness outside of my warm, comfy, wonderful pool where apparently annoying people with sticks and loud voices are.
Okay. So
I
you
try and throw some pieces of bread on Greta's face while she's floating there.
Okay. Let's see. I'd say you can do that. So you toss the bread. You feel a couple of soft, fluffy things hit your face, Greta.
I can deal with this. It is fine. Maybe there will be ducks.
And Quickbark says, I found your friend here somewhere to the south. She said there were friends of hers that she wished to notify, and so I sent a friend of mine to find you. It appears you received the message, or you have a strange way of preparing to attack an enemy. I believe, though you are odd people, that you would not throw bread on the face of an enemy, and so I must assume you are her friends. Is this true?
Oh yeah, we're besties. Do you want to be friends too? We should be friends.
He says, I don't wish to be hasty. I take some time to make friends. But you, I see, are one of the mortal races with draconic blood. Interesting. You and this, and he sort of holds out a branched finger towards Selsig. You and this are party with your friend Greta here. I have not heard of such strange doings for many an age.
Wait. So we're not friends then? Is that what if I gave you a cookie? Could we be friends then?
He says, a cookie. What is a cookie?
Oh my gosh. I just look exasperatedly at Selsig. I'm like, I can't talk to this guy anymore.
Isn't that like cannibalism anyway? I mean, there's plants involved.
Oh, that's true.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Don't tell me what.
How delicious they are. I want the cookie.
So, Greta, it's now very clear that someone is having a discussion about cookies in your presence. Your pleasant sort of dream has somewhat dissipated, and now you're aware of the fact that you're lying in rather cold water, and that there seems to be two very familiar voices talking with each other about whether to give a big tree a cookie.
And bread on
Okay.
the face.
Also, we have a winner of a treat in chat, Tweechy.
Oh, hey, look at that. Congratulations. You got a cookie, Tweechy.
Yeah, let's give
Yay.
the cookie to Tweechy, and then they have to be our friend.
That's right.
Yay, Tweety is friends.
Congratulations. That's awesome. The power is coming. That people have been using that thing like no one's business too. Like trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat.
It has a cooldown of 12 minutes.
Okay,
Wow.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Because you could see immediately everyone just like double down. Quick, trick or treat, quick, trick or treat. Anyway,
Sherry
congratulations,
Radio,
Tweechy.
can you send the key to Tweechy, please? Or Freshwater, or you just coordinate yourself, guys, there in chat, right? You do that. While I'm floating in my pool, which is suddenly getting cold and not as wonderful as it was, and I only have bread while other people have cookies, apparently.
Mhm.
And I want to give it. I will try to like float maybe to the other side of the pool. Maybe it's better over there.
Okay. So you're actually going to try to move a little bit.
Yeah, just
basically?
like pushing with my feet, just like push myself a little bit off, like push
Okay.
and float over.
So you kind of do that. You feel yourself drifting over, but it's not getting any warmer, honestly. And you're now aware that this fluffy stuff that was on your face is not leaving your face. It's still on top of your eyes, and you're not really sure why that is. But there's something going on.
Okay, I see that I might actually have to move a hand or something.
Yes.
But first, I will start with like blowing at it. Maybe it will move.
It has
So
no
maybe
zero effect.
Okay, I would. You know what? I will just try to duck underwater. Maybe it helps. Maybe everything will go away.
So you duck underwater and you're like, like, because you're immediately like under the water and like, you feel like just sort of cold water splash against your face. You come up and you folks now can see Selsagan River that for some reason Greta is now sort of kicking underneath the water and kind of brushing at her face and kind of sputtering a little bit.
Could you, Mr. Tree Man, help us? Could you get our friend? Is that a possibility?
I believe the healing spell seems to have gone, so I will be happy to remove your friend. And he bends down, and suddenly you have this feeling at the back of your neck, Greta, of being inexorably lifted up, gently but completely irresistibly by this thing, which slowly brings you up out of the water and brings you over and then puts you right down next to Selsig and River where you were standing. And then Selsig says to River, Master, I don't believe it. And River says, that is why you fail. I'm just kidding. I just was immediately, I just was thinking. Anyway, the greatest moment in Empire Strikes Back. Anyway, that's not what happens. But he does put them down and then says, looking down, says, now I believe, Greta, you must awake and return to the world of your mortal friends. So you're dripping wet and somewhat cold, Greta, and you are now on the hard ground.
I will. In this moment, I think I will finally decide to open my eyes and see who's there, and has cookies maybe.
You see the pleasant face of River looking down at you with grinning, and Selsig, who seems to be eating something that looks suspiciously like the bread that was on your face previously.
I would just sit there, still really exhausted from everything, and just smile like, I'm so happy to see you both.
Aww.
Thought we'd drop in.
We really should rethink flying as a viable method of transportation. I have bad experiences.
Yeah, we should leave you behind more often.
No! Oh god. I actually I
On the bright
crashed
side,
down.
I went first.
I crashed down into the trees, and if this wonderful gentleman here, Mr. Bark, had not saved me, I don't even know what would have happened.
You would quite probably have died, he says, just like completely matter-of-factly. He doesn't seem to be like sort of saying that as a joke. He's just like, yeah, that's probably what would happen. Death.
Tuesday then.
Yeah.
He says, But now that you have come, I cannot... Oh, how about he doesn't say that? There we go. Now I got my thing. Sorry.
Ooh.
He says, so now that you have come, I must ask what the three of you intend within my forest. Greta and I spoke briefly, but supposedly you would all together find a way to gather information within my forest. I would welcome more news of that quest. It has been long since news of the outside world has entered my forest. I am concerned with the things of green and leaf and tree, not the living and stone and other woodly possessions of man. So tell me, what is it you seek?
We seek knowledge. We seek the Ring of Winter.
And he sort of pulls himself back a little bit. The Ring of Winter. That is a famous artifact indeed, and has existed for many thousands of years. But if you will excuse my saying so, you seem a little fragile to wear such a ring, Greta. You almost did not survive a simple fall. I am concerned what the Ring of Winter and the attention it would gather from giants would do to you.
I don't want
Training
to.
up to it. A couple of falls now, and then later on, standing up to giants. It's a process.
I don't want to wear the Ring of Winter. I just don't want the giants to have it.
And he says, do you believe you can hold back the giants?
I believe that I will try with all that I can.
And he nods slowly and he says, ambition and confidence was always the hallmark of the mortal races. And you, and he looks at you, Selsig, he says, are you as committed to the fulfillment of this quest?
As far as we know.
He kind of blinks slowly and then says, I think I was considering what you would know.
Not a lot, which is why I'm still with these people.
He nods and he says, very well. And as for you, are you as committed to this quest as your companions? And he's looking at you, River.
Yeah, I really like Greta. She's super nice, so I'll go where she goes. And also, Selsig and I are business partners, so yeah, I think the quest is pretty cool.
Ooh, is there any fairies around here?
That's right. He nods and he says, very well. Then how may I be of assistance to you? I could bring you to the edge of this land, or I could bring you to Shadowtop Cathedral, the library of our gods. But I must warn you, there are troubles that have befallen that place. Also, wait, for my wife has entered. Hold on a second. Oh, just wait 1 second.
The fourth wall! No!
A giant has arrived! Yes, hello, Mrs. Arvin. Hello. I don't know if she can see us.
She just walks in, she's just like, the internet.
Yeah, we are, like, collectively, we are the internet. in case you guys didn't know, whenever you're browsing, it's just one of us.
Yeah, I'm calling not being 4chan if I can avoid it.
I will be 4chan. I will take one for the team.
Did we just get a 4chan reference while I was talking to my wife about what's going on?
No,
Really? Is that...
no, there was no 4chan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Everyone waves to you, by the way. So.
I'm Neopets.
I'm Neopets. Yeah. These are great.
It's
So.
still going as well, I think.
There we go.
I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
So okay.
My account is over 10 years old.
Oh my god.
So is mine.
That is crazy. I think I may still have an active account, not active, but an account over at Dark Age of Camelot. That's like the closest I have that. Because my friends and I played that way back when I was in graduate school. I played the my first ever one of those was Meridian 59, which is one of the first visual MMOs. So back in the day. Anyway, but back to what we were doing. So I believe he had just asked about Shadowtop Cathedral was what he had said.
No, you were talking about Shadowtop.
I did, but he left with a question, which was, did you want to be taken to that place? But he said there was some trouble around it as well.
I know we want to go, and I can't remember why, because I am really bad at note taking.
I remember if you
Finding out
folks
at work
don't.
now.
I remember if you folks don't, but let me know if you do or not.
And I don't. Hang on.
I would like to talk with my friends about your offer because this is not.
Certainly. I would be happy to give you as much time as you need. I will be over here letting my roots enjoy the cold water of the pure pool. And he sort of goes over, and as he sits down, you can actually see that his roots kind of almost bend like toes in a way into the water and kind of drift into the water and then you think he lets out kind of a sigh, although it's not 100% certain.
We have that effect.
No, it's not like a, oh god. It's not like one of those sighs. Oh man.
No, like the only note I have is Shadowtop Cathedral equals info.
Well, that's.
This is not helpful.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Sorry. I didn't mean to set anything on fire. It was a misclick. Ignore me.
That's okay. That's okay. So yes. I do think that I told you that.
Not in the forest.
I like that it started with the dexterity save also, so it's like you were rolling back out of the way before you set his beard on fire. I like the idea.
I was wondering if I could dry myself with a fire spell, and then I misclicked.
You wanted to sacred flame yourself? Is this?
And I wondered if it was too dangerous or not.
Well,
Please do not set the forest on fire. Only you can stop forest fires. Only you.
Did you just say only you can start forest fires?
I did not say start. I said stop.
Can I make myself dry with mending, maybe?
Not sure about that, but you probably will be able to patch yourself dry over time, although there is a definite lack of sun down here.
Yeah,
So-
that is what I was worrying about. Well, anyway, still, I mean, we were going to get some information about Harshnag, and I think also about the Ring of Winter in that Shadowtop Cathedral library. So, and it seems still to be the best clue we have.
Yeah, that's exactly why we were going there. I remember now. We ran that down. I think we should go. If he's offering, unless he's super slow. Because if he's
He is
super
not.
slow, just walk.
He makes really big steps.
That's true.
That's true.
Is
Might
is
have
is Urash is with the horses?
Put him out to
Yes.
pasture, yes.
Let's go with yes.
He's been very quiet the last couple months.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of on his mind because of the cursed eggs.
Mhm.
That could very well be. I do want to mention one thing, which is that he, as he's sort of there listening. You know, he's not trying to listen in. Actually, I should ask that. Are you? I know you're drawn aside by yourselves talking. Are you doing so very quietly, or like how quietly are you keeping your conversation?
I trusted that tree. I'm a very trusty person, so I thought he would not listen. So I did not really like try to be extremely
That's fine.
secretive.
Yeah, no,
or
he's
something.
not. That's fine. Yeah, he's not really paying much attention, or at least it doesn't seem like it. Although, who knows how good your ability to determine tree expressions is? But yes.
So maybe we should ask him about what happened with Shadowtop Cathedral, because he was just hinting at some kind of danger that has befallen it. I would hate to like walk into the lair of a demon without knowing it first. It's better if you know it beforehand.
I like to know when I'm going to have my entrails removed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm totally with you there.
Okay, so
Yeah, maybe he knows something. Maybe we should ask him.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was his name? Bark, right, Mr. Bark?
Quick Bark.
Quick Bark.
Right. Remember he said that was his name because his friends claimed he was always very hasty. So yeah.
Quick Bark. What kind of danger befell Shadowtop Cathedral?
He said, that is a difficult question, for I have not been able to get close enough to ascertain the danger myself. You see, Shadowtop Cathedral is guarded by a treant, the leader of our people. His name is Turlang. He is much older than me and much wiser. Yet, for the last age, he has not allowed any of us to come close to Shadowtop Cathedral. He has behaved most strangely. Some wonder if there is some blight which afflicts him, or some fear of something within Shadowtop Cathedral which he wishes to imprison. But Turlang is not himself, and he is formidable when he is angry. He once destroyed several dragons by himself. And then he looks at you, River, and he says, but that was a long time ago. I'm sure he's forgotten it now. He is at least 3 times my height, you see, and very old and powerful. Now, as I think I already mentioned, Quick Bark is already impressive looking, so if this thing is like 2 or 3 times his height, this is like, no joke.
People do tend to get annoyed around us for some reason.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this forest is really not a place for my fire magic, which might limit our
How fast can we run?
He says, it might be misunderstood, Greta. And then he pauses and he says, Turlang is a good and noble creature. I cannot imagine that his heart has turned rotten. Something must be wrong, and he and Shadowtop Cathedral know more than any in all the known lands. The information you seek may be found there, but you must deal with Turlang if you would find it.
Well, in case he decides to not like us, do you think you could carry us to safety in time?
And he shakes his head very ponderously and says, I do not think so, for he has set up a barrier of living trees and plants, awakened ones, which move and shift and confuse. Some of them were my friends, and yet now they do not recognize me and give me no passage. If you were to enter, I think they would not prevent you. But if Turlang takes offense or anger, you would need to escape him to reach me. Then I would do what I could to protect you, though I would have little chance against someone as mighty as Turlang.
I look at my companions. Sure, we dare it.
Do you think we could sneak past him with cookies?
I don't
They're
know.
crunchy. They're not really known for their sort
No,
of sneaking
Really
ability.
distracted.
Stealth cookies.
Just holding a plate of cookies. No. No, we distract. We leave the cookies at the front door, and then we go in through the back door.
I
could
think
try
the
to
backdoor idea is a good idea. I don't know how good cookies are on giant tree creatures. I've ever
That's true.
tried.
I don't
Maybe
even
it's
have cookies. I don't know why I came up with that plan.
You seem most concerned about cookies.
Have you had cookies? They're delicious.
I am more engaged with liquid sustenance and sun. But your cookies may be delicious for you, so I wish you many cookies in your future.
Oh,
But wait, do I know even your name?
Oh no! Hi, I'm River. It's nice to meet you.
He says, "Thank you, River. I am sorry that our air has made you respond with, you call them allergies, I think, perhaps." And then he says, "And you, confused wizard halfling type?"
Delsig the Grey.
he says, "Your name sounds both familiar and not." And he nods, and he says, "Well met, nonetheless. I will enter you in the halls and annals of my people. When you are ready, we can proceed to Shadowtop Cathedral if you are willing to take the risk of going there. I will wish you the best and give you the trust and faith that your path is a righteous one, for Turlang is a good creature. He must simply be reminded of this."
how long does it take to reach Shadowtop Cathedral from here?
By your count, were you walking on your own, at least a week or two. But if I take you through secret paths and glens, I could have you there within a day, I believe.
Well, I think that's pretty straightforward what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would appreciate your help, Quick Bark, if you could take us there, and we will try to talk to Turling. Maybe we can reach him.
And he nods and he says, "I will gladly do so. First, are any of you weary or require sustenance?" Now, Greta, I should say, by the way, that you are currently, this pool thing that you did has restored you to full health. So you are at 56 out of 56 hit points right now. And you feel extremely comfortable and rested, and maybe a little bit slow. Not in sort of a, like, I've been poisoned, but just kind of like, maybe it's just hanging out with Quick Bark, but you just feel kind of like everything's chill all the time type of thing, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Okay, no problem.
So yes. And then but he asked that to everyone. So if any, you can respond as you like.
Do you have sustenance?
And he says, I do. It is of the liquid variety, though.
No, you can keep it.
Okay. Celsig, are you good, or do you want to partake?
I'm thirsty.
Okay. So he bends down and he gently lifts up. Basically, he takes this what looks kind of like a leaf, although it's pretty big, and then puts it in the water and pulls it up. And when he pulls it up, you can see that his cupped hands, which really just look like a wooden bowl, are filled with the water from the pool. And he holds it out to you, and he says, drink, but do not do so too deeply, for a little of this goes a long way.
Okay. So I basically there's nothing else to do for it, just shove my face into it.
Okay. So, first of all...
I don't have any other way method.
I wait until he has finished drinking, and then I say, I did not pee in it.
Yes, exactly. It has a slight flavor of dwarf. No.
Greta gets a little bit of a spit take on her.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when you drink from this, first of all, this is really cold, pure, the sort of purest, coldest water that you can ever remember having drunk. And as you drink it, you have this odd experience, Celsig, of feeling as if you have this sort of vision of your childhood when you came home one day and you had been out with friends, and you came home after a long day of playing and running and basically being mischievous and making trouble. And you came home tired and sweaty, and you remember that your mother, despite scolding you for these things, had given you this mug, basically, of water, and how cold and fresh it was. This is like that, and as you take a drink from it, you are reminded a little bit of a sense of youth and rejuvenation, and a sense of perhaps the natural world. So you were already, I think, at maximum hit points, but the effect that this will have on you is that the next check that you make will be done at advantage. So the next sort of, and I mean, like, you can use the advantage when you want, I guess, but not on combat or anything like that. This is only for checks, and it's only the first one that you do. Okay. So you feel that, and so he once you're done sort of drinking, he sort of looks back and he starts to rumble, and at first you're a little nervous, and then you understand that what he's actually doing is laughing. I see you have lost none of your penchant for speed, you and the halfling race. Did you enjoy the pool of life from which I had you drink, Celsig the Grey?
I was sort of million miles staring him, just blinkers like, yeah, I haven't thought about them in a very long time.
And he nods.
Yeah, I drift off again.
He nods and he says, yes, this is a memory, in a way. It provides links to other memories. There was a time when one interloper stumbled into my forest and fumbled and bumbled his way into the pool. When I found him, he had drunk from it so deeply that he was asleep forever, locked in his dreams and his memories. It was unfortunate. And then he kind of turns away and shakes his head and then says, well, our time has come. If you would follow me, shall we go to Shadowtop Cathedral?
I sort my stuff.
I'm sorry, what? Say it again.
I sort my stuff.
You sort your stuff? Okay. All right. All of you get your stuff together, and then he basically brings them up, brings you up each one onto each shoulder, basically. Whoever wants to be on what is up to you. So you can have, like, it's up to you, like, if you want to do, like, one on the left, one on the right shoulder, and then one in one of his large hands would be holding the other.
I think Greta should sit on the foot with her reputation of being up high at the moment.
Probably won't want to do that. The way that he moves quickly is through the roots kind of carving through the land, so might be dangerous. Yes.
I think I will take one of the hands. Maybe one. I will look at my friends like, would you like to join me on his hands? I think they're big enough.
I'll take a hand.
I'm gonna sit on his head. Will he let me sit on his head?
Yeah, if you wish. Sure.
I'm gonna sit there.
Okay. So you kind of grab on so that he can do this, and then he sets off. Now, when he sets off, he goes at a great pace. And Greta and he were not joking about the sort of speed that he can move. I'm going to put this into another path so we can distinguish it. Let's do it this way, I think. So as you're moving along, Lex, congratulations, Lexantis, you won the second of the treats. Congratulations. So here we go. So you set off. Now he is moving around. You can see sort of the end of the star mounts. You believe is what you had been told. These sort of mountains that are sticking up above the sort of top of the high forest. And as he goes, he moves at just this enormous pace. But it's weird because it doesn't feel like he's running. He's just taking these big strides. And as you look down below, you can see the roots kind of curling into the dirt and then pulling him forward. It's as if you're looking at a tree in sped up motion. And if any of you have ever seen what the roots of a tree can do to a building over time, imagine that accelerated to this kind of pace. And as he proceeds along, he begins to hum something, and then sort of louder, in rhythm with his steps. 1, 2, and 3, the steps. Traveling forward one, and yet we're far from this and far from here, and all the time we are right here. And he's doing this thing which also seems like almost a little bit tuneless, but as you're sort of going along and he's singing this, you can hear the sound of the trees and branches and the bushes around him almost seem to be responding to the song. Like at a couple points you swear that there's a couple of them doing like harmony, and then you're like, that can't be, they're trees, like how is that possible? But you feel like it's not just him singing as he is moving along, and he begins to arc back this way towards the Lost Peaks. Several hours pass as you were on his back. And eventually, you could, if you wish, I should ask if you want to, you could try to get some rest if you want, because clearly there are some hours left before you arrive at, where you're going to go, but it's up to you.
I will inch a little bit closer to Celsic if he's on the same hand as I am.
That's up to him if he was.
He's muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yep. There we go.
I will not respond. I am Gandalf.
That's it. I'm actually on the other hand, and all you can see is me going.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can be on the same hand. I didn't specify.
Okay.
I look like sidewards towards Celsic, and I look up to the stars if it's still night, and say, I was lucky there.
Again.
Again.
It can't keep up, though, can it?
I fear it won't. I really do fear it won't.
I mean, let me think now. This is there. Then there's the tower, the bird people. There's at least 3 times now.
Yeah.
I mean, your god might like you, but does he like you that much? I mean, even he might say, like, you know what? You've had your chances.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't speak to him. You do.
That I speak to him doesn't mean he speaks back. I always thought he shows himself in the world in all the good things and all the light, whenever the light reaches the dark places.
And what does him dropping you into a forest say?
I think maybe it wasn't him dropping me. Maybe it's more like Kalismana dropping me or life dropping me or just, just things that happen.
Or maybe he knew it's where you needed to be. He might not be kind, but he might be helping.
Maybe he is.
Maybe that's even like, they can't be seen to be meddling in the affairs of mortals. So he arranged for you to arrive where you needed to be.
In a very fast and direct manner.
Yeah, you survived though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try jumping off a dragon again, though.
I won't, I promise. And you maybe don't play with knives.
It's all about gambling now. I've seen it. It's the future.
We'll talk to you about merchandising.
Yeah. We'll have these clothing with drawings with fairies on them. It'll be great.
As long as it's legal and like clean gambling, I am fine with that.
I have a license.
Yes, you do. And I'm very happy about that.
Gambling license is pretty much a license to steal.
And it also, I like the thought of, something being afterwards, after this adventure. Like there's going to be life afterwards, even if it's a gambling den.
Need to think of a name. The Rangers Magic Guild. Perhaps.
Thank you, Celsic. I'll pray and rest for a while.
Yeah. Maybe not too near the edge of the hand.
I won't.
No, I'll try and stay somewhere, just in case there's like a movement. I can grab Greta.
Okay.
Try and stay within grabbing distance.
River, are you going to try to get some sleep, or are you going to stay awake?
Yeah, I'm gonna rest on his head.
Okay. One of the things that you notice, because you happen to be higher up, is every so often you hear or feel, I should say, not hear, but feel this sort of drift of cooler air, because sometimes you seem to be close to the top of the tree cover. And so you can kind of feel the cold air from the cooler night outside the forest kind of filtering in. But it's pleasant, and despite his great speed, he moves with great stability. It's hard for you to imagine that he would fall over, as you continue to move in that direction. Before we continue, I will say hi to everybody and welcome all to episode 149 of Pen and Pixels. This is D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder, with the wonderful GOG stream crew, which I'm very lucky to be able to DM once a month on this channel. We are, of course, not at all dressed abnormally in any way for this out. This is what we always wear. It's just like this is just a typical Tuesday. But I am joined, of course, as always, by Pyron Jade, by Darksaber2K, and by Tasty Chai. Screaming Joypad will hopefully be back with us next month. If you like what you see here, please make sure to follow GOG. Please make sure to as well subscribe to the channel, as a couple of you have already done earlier today. And please check out what we do here on our individual channels also. I will as well say, I'm not going to get into any details about this, except to say that there may, at some point in the future, there may be some more D&D stuff that may happen associated with this channel down the line. There's no further information at all about anything. I'm just throwing out a very vaguest of teasers for all of you, so you can just kind of conjure with that. But no, in all seriousness, I'm very glad to have this group with me, and thank you all for being here. So, the night gives way to what you assume is the day, as you find finally he is slowing down, and now you see why it is that he took this basic path, because if you had tried to go there directly, he could have maybe gone to the left. You're not sure why he went this way, but if he had gone directly through, he would have had to go over 2 sets of peaks of mountains, and that would obviously not have been optimal. So he slows down and he sort of stops, comes slowing down, then eventually comes to a stop. And he says, quietly, for him anyway, we are now standing outside the domain of Shadowtop Cathedral and Turlang. Here I will be recognized, and it will be your quest now to penetrate these trees and bushes and find your way to the center where the cathedral lies. Be aware, Turlang is a fierce enemy. I hope you can speak reason to him. I will wait here and listen for the sighing of the wind that will tell me how your journey is progressing.
Okay. I will suit up just in case.
Okay.
So,
Like, not like with the weapons drawn or something, but maybe wearing some mail would be
Okay.
a good idea. So
Okay.
more like defensive than offensive.
Okay.
I mean, what was his name? Quickbark. Quickbark knew we were coming and seemed to have some control or friendship with the surroundings. So that I think there's probably a high chance that his buddy knows we're coming before we know where his buddy is.
See, this is why we needed to bring the cookies. So we could have distracted him.
We
by
drive a
putting them in the
fire
front
in his
door.
direction.
Yeah.
I'm really sure that is not the diplomatic option. We should try the diplomatic option first.
Okay, what is the
We
diplomatic
could set him on fire politely.
So sorry.
So wait,
But-
you wanna try talking to him?
I would like to try talking first, yes.
What if he makes you explode before you can talk to him?
Then I would say I was really unlucky with the diplomatic approach, but if you look at Quickbark, and if we are facing a creature that regularly fights off dragons without a problem, I don't see how any other approach would actually work out. We need to do it this way, or try to sneak in, and I have to admit I'm really bad at that.
I don't even fancy my chances round here. I mean, he could be watching us from bats, or talking to the bats, or I'm not sure how it works. Are the bats like parts of him? Either way, there's some sort of bat involvement, and I'm not very good at hiding from bats.
Okay,
I imagine.
What if we talk to the bats? That would be good.
so maybe we should really walk in openly with light if it's still dark down there in the trees and shout hello.
Okay. So you get down off of him then, I assume. You get off of
Thank you
Quickbark.
for your help, Quickbark.
I am pleased to have been of help. Good luck, and make sure you are aware of your surroundings. Listen to nature, and it will give you the answers. While you are there, I will rest here. And he sort of stands in one place. And it seems like he's, in fact, if you're not looking very carefully, his eyes close, and if you were sort of to turn away and look back, he'd just look like a big tree, just in one spot. In front of you, you can see what looks like a set of very thick and dense bushes and basically tree cover, but much closer together than some of the forest woods and trees that you've been passing to this point. So you think you might be able to get through there, but you need to think about the way to make the best passage because it's looks pretty tight quarters in there.
If we just had a ranger.
Yep. And Celsig, like, far too late. Oh, yes. Right. I can help.
I'm sort of looking at the trees and then looking at my sword and then just going, any other time this would be a great idea, but this does not feel smart. I just put it back.
Okay, let's try to find a way through here, maybe without trampling or cutting or setting trees on fire. Can I make something like a survival check, maybe?
Sure. What do you? Are you basically are you doing this to sort of look and see like the best passage, or are you trying to gather information about it? Like, what are you trying to do?
I want to find a way through the shrubs.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is that if you're just doing, like, say, a perception check or something like that, or investigation would be the way to sort of find a passage. But if you're trying to gather information about this place that might help you, clear out the path, that would probably be something more like nature or survival. So that's why I'm asking.
I'm sort of just poking the nearest bush right now, suspiciously.
Yeah, I thought, like, I didn't want to know. Yeah, well, I will try to survival check. Maybe it will help me to find a way.
Okay.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure. There does seem to be something odd about this, though, Greta. It feels like this area is a little oppressive. For all of the darkness and the sort of stillness and calmness of the high forest elsewhere, this feels more tense. There's not really a way else that you can put your information on it.
Can I try a survival check too?
Sure, absolutely.
I did better.
So yeah, the way that I just described it to Greta is the same way that you feel. However, River, there's also something else. You obviously have spent much of your earlier time kind of in the land, living off the land in the wild and so forth. And you feel as if there's this sense of unease about the natural surroundings here. And there's almost as if a kind of an anticipation, like, this sounds odd, but as if the trees and the bushes are waiting for something. And you're not really sure exactly what to do about that, but you definitely feel it. And you're not sure what they're waiting for, but they're waiting for something.
Okay. Guys, there's something weird going on here. The forest feels weird.
You mean
Yeah.
besides the giant talking, walking tree that...
Yeah, like outside of that part.
I don't come out here often for these things, pointing at the trees.
I can't really see a good way through. Can you?
No. I mean, maybe if we ask nicely.
I
Okay.
push the nearest bush.
Oh, no, gently.
As I said, push, not slash.
It yields a little bit, but you go in and immediately you feel like getting scratched up, like, your face is scratched up and kind of like thorns and not so good.
Come back. Nope.
Okay, I approach this limit that we can feel there.
Okay.
Around
I
the
hold a
place.
gold up to the nearest bush.
And I do want to point.
Through.
Yeah, and I do want to point out about that. It does very much feel like a barrier. Like, it feels very distinctive between the bushes and the trees that feel like that and the ones that feel not like that, even within 10 feet away. There's a difference between the ones that don't have this tension that I mentioned and the ones that do.
And I shout, Turling, we are here to ask for your wisdom.
Silence.
Guess he's got no wisdom.
Maybe he's pondering it. When I understood Quickbot correctly, this can take a few years.
You wait 5 hours, and someday.
I walk up to the barrier of trees and say, hello, trees. If it would be cool, could we get by? Because we gotta go talk to the sky and you're in the way.
Make a nature check for me, please.
A nature check.
If you have that.
If
If not, I'll take wisdom.
Wisdom I can do, but I can't do nature.
Okay.
No. The trees don't care.
Wow.
If she's doing that, I'm trying to climb the nearest tree.
The trees. So the trees are you get this sense that when you actually say that, there is a sort of moment of kind of I guess quiet might be the way to describe it, but then there's no response, River. You feel like, though, something was listening to you, as impossible as that might seem.
Guys, come ask.
And then you were asking, you were going to climb a tree. Is that what I understood?
See if I can see a route forwards.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to make an athletics check for me, please. Or I would take acrobatics, I suppose. Now, if you're going to make this check, be aware that you're doing this at advantage because of the...
That is true.
Yeah.
So, let's roll at advantage.
Okay.
Can I choose not to take it at advantage? Because that was pretty good.
Sadly, no.
Okay.
Maybe you'll crit this one.
Come on, yeah.
Wow.
It is excellent.
Chat, of course, didn't see that because I was too busy trying to pick up the right track. Double 19s, chat. Double 19s. All right, so you make your way up very quickly. Now, I should ask, by the way, are you making your way up one of the trees that clearly fits the sort of, how do I put this? Are you making your way up the tree that seems just like a normal tree nearby this sort of obvious barrier, or are you trying to make your way up a tree that is in or on the barrier?
I was trying the barrier.
Okay. So if you're going to do that, that's the name of Celsig's new casino. Oh, we got another winner. Hey, congratulations, Kangur. Congratulations. Okay. So, let's see. There's something called inspiration. No, I know. That will be they'll be able to use that in other circumstances. So just trying to find my bloody forest thing that I wanted to use. Come on, forest thing, not graveyard.
Bloody forest. It's going downhill already.
Well, at least
There
I
we go.
tried asking nicely. It didn't work, but I tried.
Yep. Now I'm trying to annoy it into doing something,
Maybe,
which is my usual mode.
Okay.
River, maybe, but you felt like something was happening?
Yeah, it seemed like something weird's going on with the trees. And I tried asking nicely, but I don't think they listened to me. So someone else could try asking nicely. I
Or
don't know if it'll work.
would it also be okay if I maybe try to pray over you and then you try again?
Maybe.
I will put a guidance spell on River.
Okay. All right. So that means we'll be adding, I think, a 1d4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that
to
means
the-
she gets 1d4 for her next ability check.
Okay. And Celsig, I'm sorry, I know you just told me this, but you said you are going like the tree that's in the barrier, or did
Yeah,
you
one
say?
of the mean-looking trees.
Okay. So when you get to the top of this tree, you're holding on to it, and it's, you're first of all inside a forest, and secondly, there's no storm. And yet suddenly you can feel the tree begin to sway back and forth. And then it starts to do so almost somewhat violently. The branches kind of wave, and it almost feels like, and you're starting to have trouble kind of holding on to the top of it, it almost feels like it's like you're on a horse trying to shake you off.
I almost want to have the word again.
Oh no. I see that and in panic, I run over.
Okay. I need you to make a dexterity save for me, please, Celsic, because this thing is like...
Oh no.
Oh no.
Anything I've got that helps with that.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
So it just like juk, 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 and then and so you're having trouble holding on. Now while this is going on, River, you're going up to actually talk to the trees, I believe. So
Yeah.
now that you have this guidance, what are you going to say to them first, and we'll talk about the check.
I gotta think about how would River word this, because I know how I would word it, but I
Right.
gotta stay in character.
Right.
Hello, trees. It's me again. I'm back. I just wanted to say I think your leaves are beautiful, and that I would really like it if you would let me pass and let my friends pass, so we could go talk to the guy, because we're on a very important mission.
Okay, go ahead and make, let's see. Yeah, let me have you make another wisdom check for this, but you can do this with the guidance obviously added into it.
Okay. So there's that. And then we'll roll. You said it was a D4?
Yeah, I think it's D4, right, Greta?
Yeah, it's a D4, an additional D4.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to the
17?
branch, says the dismissed tree. Okay, so
So
17.
all over.
So there is this momentary thing, and then Celsig, just as you're about to lose your grip completely, the thing, the thing sort of, the thing stops, and you're almost like, like into the thing as it like stops dead, but you manage to hold on, and there is a moment of silence, and then you hear sort of whispering through.
Hello, my name is River. These are my friends, Greta Goldenfire, who's lovely, and the guy in your hair is Celsig.
And then there's silence for a minute, and then, why have you come?
Greta, would you like to talk to the tree?
Does the tree like to talk to me?
I don't know. You have to ask the tree.
We came because we're seeking wisdom. We want to go to Shadow Top Cathedral's library.
And then there's pause, and then, you are an outsider.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, my echo is screwed up. He says, you are an outsider. Why do you seek the knowledge of our sacred place?
Because the giants are threatening the world.
The world is outside. Ours is to guard this place of green and safety.
And ours is to guard this, the place outside.
Then do so. We do not invade your space.
From the top of the tree, you just hear me yelling, "The giants don't respect yours!"
There's sort of a pause, and then, if you would show yourself, then pass forward.
Do I see anything from the top of the tree?
You sort of more feel it than see it, as you feel the top of your tree beginning to bend down, like, sort of holding you and then kind of depositing you on the ground. And you are deposited on the ground on the other side of the barrier. And simultaneous to this, Greta and River, you see the bushes and trees almost, it's sort of hard to explain it. It's not like they just create this arch, but you feel as if suddenly the area you were looking at is less dense, and a spot opens up that will allow you, presumably, to pass through it.
Okay. I walk through it.
Okay.
I say thank you.
There is only silence and the whispering of the wind as you pass through.
I'm giving the tree a look that I'm never going to be trusting a tree again for as long as I live.
That's funny.
I was abducted by one last session.
That's true. And now we've got, yep. Okay. So, I'm going to show this on stream. You get to the center, you walk probably a few hundred feet, and then you find yourself here. And you can see these trees that are these great trees that are positioned above you, sort of soaring up to the heights. You can see now why it's actually called a cathedral, because it certainly feels like a place where the ground touches the sky. And there is a little bit of light that you can see up top there that's filtering through. And the trees are straight and clear. And as you are sort of there watching the experience of sort of seeing this cathedral, as you're watching up there, you look and think to yourself that there's something sort of strange about some of the trees in that... Actually, well, you know what? Let's have you make a perception check. Let's see if you can see what is actually strange about the trees.
Ooh, perception. Excellent. Nice!
Okay. 25, I dig it.
No, I know nothing.
You're like, beautiful trees.
Pretty trees.
I like them trees.
Greta's like, what trees?
They all look the same.
Trees, what are you
All
going?
trees.
I've gone
Like,
blind.
Look the
These
same
aren't
to
just
me.
trees. You can tell by the leaves.
Yeah, exactly. You start pulling out well, actually, this thing is more of a, this is actually related to the ginkgo. You can actually see
I
the...
think you'll find the herbs.
Yeah, exactly. What you notice, Selsig, is that there are many spots on these sort of trunks of these gorgeous trees that look blackened and almost twisted. Some of the bark looks as if it has this sickly green stuff on it. Now, you would need to get closer to see what that means, but some of it does not look like normal, healthy tree bark to you. And there's a fair bit of it as you look around, sort of on and up the branches and the bark of these trees that looks like this.
I will move closer to look, because they clearly, like you say, they don't look right. I mean, not being the most skilled ranger in the world, one might say I'm almost playing at being a ranger rather than actually being trained in
One
the
might
way.
say, yeah.
But I will definitely go and have a look.
Okay.
And see if anything rings as recognizable with me.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
These trees don't look right, even by the standards of the trees we've been encountering lately.
They
They're
do.
sick.
They all look sick. How do you see if a tree is sick?
Not sure what's wrong with them, but it's like mold on bread. You know it's bad just by looking.
I try to see if I can see what it is if Celsic points at it.
Yeah, as he sort of leads you to it, you can see that there are, in fact, a number of spaces where the bark looks mottled and almost sometimes rotted away around the tree. And you can see from the sort of closer branches that there are not a lot of leaves on these closer branches, and the ones that there are seem to be kind of limp and hanging from them. Now, again, these trees are ancient and you don't see anything else there, but bark itself, as it rots around the outside, if bark ever is completely broken away from the tree all the way around the trunk, some of you may know this, it's very likely that tree is going to die, because that's how the bark actually brings water up to the higher roots and things like that, is up through the bark. And so you can see that a lot of the bark has now rotted away and looks kind of sort of problematic. It looks, in fact, even as you're looking at it, Selsig, as you sort of bend in closer, you think you can even see this rot slightly moving. Like it's almost like looking at fire licking at the edge of a paper. It's sort of gradually eating away at this bark.
Would I
Can
be
you
able to
see
tell if it's
anything?
naturally occurring? Or if it's magical?
And I'll come back to you in just a second, Greta. This is definitely not natural, not this fast. I mean, you don't have to be... Even your somewhat basic skills as a ranger, don't need to tell you this. It should not be happening this fast. Everything with trees is old and slow. So rot like this might take, years, decades to get like this. But this is happening, again, as if it's in sort of sped up motion. Greta, you asked me what now?
No, I asked Celsic, can you see anything?
Okay.
It's spreading.
I can't.
Faster than it should.
I stare at it. Can I make it like a medicine check to see if I can tell anything about this?
Not medicine, but I'll take nature if you have it.
Well.
If not, then wisdom.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's very clear that...
I'm getting attacked by a cat. 1 moment. Ow! Ow! Cat, what is wrong with you? What was that? It just came in, growled, and attacked my feet, and then it worked out again. I just don't know.
It's like dragon. Like,
Yes, that might actually be it, because when the mask arrived in the mail, I actually being an adult and everything, I put it on and scared the cats with it. So maybe he saw me sitting here with it and just decided now it's time to get back.
That's really funny. I wonder if I can remember that icon. No, that's not it. Damn it. I don't remember what it was. It's something of Fungineer. Anyway, it's the sort of like not impressed face.
Sorry,
Wow,
I'm
okay.
very sorry.
No, that's okay. Let's see. So what you're able to tell, what was I saying? Oh, yes, the nature check. So what you're able to tell from this is that there is, again, something. Hey, congratulations, KLR7. Wow, check that out. Ghostly game code has appeared. Congratulations, KLR7.
Nice.
As you're looking at this thing, and as I said, kind of eating away at the bark, the sort of way that you would describe it is that this is sort of like a blight in fast motion, and the fact that this is happening, is not natural. The only thing you can think of to do, though, because your expertise is not usually trees or anything like that, is to cut away the offending part, basically, to take away the part that's got the illness on it, and to try in some ways to bandage the wound. Like if you were treating a human patient, that would be the closest to what you would do. Or I should say a humanoid patient, that's what you would do. So that's the only thing you can think of. Cut away the blighted part, bandage the good part.
I'm not gonna cut away on these trees. I'm not pretty sure they're not gonna appreciate that. River, come over here. Have a look at this.
Okay, I go over there and look.
Does this look like a spell to you or something?
Can I do any kind of checks for that?
Sure, you can make an Arcana check for that, if you want to
Okay.
see if that's what this might be.
Arcana is okay as +1. Whoa!
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, if you had to guess, the fact that this is moving in this speed suggests that it's definitely not natural in origin, and if it's not a spell, it might also be a curse of some kind, some curse which has been laid upon this land and these trees. Countering such a curse, though, requires that you know how it happened in the first place, and as yet you don't really know what caused this.
I sort of just say loudly to thin air, since we don't know where anyone is yet. Your trees, they're not well. How did this happen?
And there is a moment of silence, and then you hear, as I stop and move over to more, let me see, give me a more, let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this tree that you're looking at in front of you, you're just sort of staring at it, and then it begins to move and shift and kind of sway. And then you see this face appear on the outside of it. And you hear this booming voice that says, as it looks down, "We are all sick and dying. That is our lot." It reminds you a little bit of Quickbark, but the voice is ragged and hoarse and not very happy, quite clearly. And as he bends down, thank you, hon. As he bends down, not to provide Indian food, though, although that's great. As he bends down, where am I going to put this? Like 6 million things here. Okay, there we go. Not my chicken tikka. Okay. As he bends down, you see this face appear, and I will pop this up as well onto stream here.
Oh no, oh no.
Kitty?
Cat, don't ignore me. Just keep on.
Okay.
Cat, don't. No.
Sounds of cat intensify.
Okay, everything's under control. I'm sure.
Everything's fine.
All right.
We're fine here. How are you? Okay.
Yep. Our previous stream team leader never had any issues with cats on stream, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Yeah, that never had any issues. This massive face appears, and you can actually see it now on stream. Also, that's to scale, just in case you wanted to get a sense of,
Oh, I could still burn that if that's the scale.
And well, that's
Say that out
relative to River. So,
I
so
picked up a lot of respect for nature during the course of
Yeah.
this a session.
And so it bends down to you and then says, "Why do you care what happens to the trees? You and the mortal races are responsible for this. Our sickness is caused by you."
A tree saved my life. It seems to be the right thing to give back. And how could the mortal races do something like this to you?
And you can see that the face looks pained almost. Like you can see there's like an expression of actual pain on its strange wooden features. And it says, "Have you seen nothing of the destruction of our forests? You come to our lands and take what you will, cut the living heart, chop the breathing lungs, break our bones and rip us to shreds for your sustenance and shelter. Your people have destroyed us for centuries, and now," he coughs, "this is what is left of us."
No. This looks like an illness. This looks like a curse.
And he says, "Our curse is our association with you. Had we kept you out, we might still survive. My friends are dying. My death is welcome. And I should bring others with me to death."
Outside, there's Quickbark standing, and he is healthy and lively. Why would only your friends in here have this illness? Something is wrong. Somebody targeted you. This is not from the influence of humanoid civilization. This is something different.
And he says, "Lies! I was told to wait your coming, that those would come with tongues of rotten wood and do what they could to undertake us."
So what am I doing to undertake you? Standing here talking?
And he says, as he's looking, hold on a second, there we go. I have a little Arv who's just arrived.
It's just me, Kitty. It's just me.
Mini Arv. The cat is like,
Children and cats, this is the stream today.
Cat's doing Pyro Bully.
I'll put that there. Okay. So so he says, "First deceive us. Tell us you will help and do what you can. Then burn us when the time comes."
We didn't even offer help yet.
And he says, "No, for you bring only harm and destruction." And and you can see, as he sort of reaches down a little bit, you can see that the leaves on top of his trunk, way up there, are many of them are brown and mottled and torn. And you can see there's actually almost like a blanket of leaves below his roots that are as if you were in the fall, but these leaves do not look, they look eaten away.
Harm and destruction was apparently here before us. And if all you have to offer to you and your friends is death, then maybe listening to us is worth it.
And there's a moment, and then he says, "Fine, interloper. What would you say that would keep me from believing you were one of them, destroying my forest and land and my friends?"
That's a damn good question.
I know.
What kind of proof do you seek?
And there's sort of a moment's pause, and then... If you are not one of those who have burned our bark, carved our roots, and chopped our bodies, then prove what you say is true. Find an end to this curse.
Okay, I'll try.
We need to know how it started before we can stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he looks down at you, River, and says, "So, one of the Dragonborn, you of dragon blood, I see." And there's sort of pause and then sort of ragged breathing, and then says, "Some time ago, there were a set of adventurers like you who came to us, seeking wisdom and knowledge. I allowed them through, for the knowledge of the forest was always for all to partake in freely. They entered and did something. I could not see their movements or actions. They seemed simply to be within our cathedral. And yet when they left, our skin burned like fire. As they left, one turned and looked at me with a smile of hatred. But I could not find him, for he vanished as soon as I saw him, as if he were nothing but a dream. And the burning remained, the sickness remained. For months, I placed the barrier around the cathedral so that nothing more would escape. But when our people die, this curse will spread to the rest of this forest. I know it will destroy all the lands of nature and do the work of the civilized people." And he kind of coughs and almost doubles over, almost in pain. And you can see now that the bark around his fingers and hands seems almost brittle. As he squeezes his fist, you can see some of it cracking and breaking and flaking off and falling to the ground.
Maybe they found the knowledge for this curse in the cathedral?
And he sort of pauses and says, "How could the cathedral have knowledge of harm?"
I don't know, I've not been in there.
Did the group introduce themselves?
Nope.
Damn.
Neither is he, frankly.
It sounded a bit forced greyish.
Oh,
Was it
yeah.
forced grey?
Oh, you're asking if they did.
Yes.
You'd have to ask him that. I thought
Yeah.
you meant you hadn't introduced yourself.
No. Did this group introduce themselves? Because they sound similar to a group we're trying to track.
And he says, "No. I know only that they had among their number several of the mortal men, and one of your people." And he turns back to you, Greta. "A dwarf was with them, and I remember dwarves with little kindness after the way their axes have bit my people's flesh throughout the centuries. But this dwarf, he stayed calm and quiet, so I put aside my prejudice and fear. I see I was wrong, and that hatred is the only way."
How did they arrive? Did they arrive flying?
"No, on foot."
I look at Celtic. You remember this dwarf that attacked us for the guy with the bad breath or something when we were in the flying tower?
Hmm.
No? There was this lord of bad air, and he sent some guys. I think they were flying on griffins or something, to the tower while we were flying, and their leader was a dwarf.
Oh yeah, that was that was several shenanigans ago. But yeah, there was.
I mean, which other dwarves have we encountered on our journey?
Wasn't there the Weevil? Was he a dwarf?
Yes, the Weevil was a dwarf, but he's locked away, and I don't think this doesn't sound like the Weevil thing.
Lord of Bad Air does sound like something that might spread corruption.
Yeah. A dwarf. Have you ever heard of Force Grey?
Oh, I was gonna ask the trees if they knew where they went.
Okay, well, who wants to do what?
River first.
Okay. Do you trees know where these bad guys went? Did they say anything?
Are you addressing this to the main thing that's been talking to you? Okay.
Yeah.
And he says, "No. I have thought many times of leaving and tracking him, finding him wherever he goes, and making him heal us before I break him in two. But I have a duty here to my people, and have grown too sick to leave. Though if I saw him here, my roots would tear." And he sort of, coughing fit type of thing.
I walk over to him and pat him.
He almost recoils and he says, "Get away from me. You would do more harm."
I mope and leave.
I look at my companions. If this is a magical illness, I don't think that treating the wounds would do anything long term. So we need to find out what kind of curse it was and if we can break it. You look at River. Can you break curses?
I mean, only if I know who started it and how.
I'm guessing you need to know more who than a dwarf did it.
Yeah, I need to know more than just a dwarf.
It was a dwarf and two, apparently, according to them, two humans and a dwarf that said this, or that did this.
Have you heard of Artis Simber, Hashneck, or Force Grey?
And there's sort of a pause, and then ancient names. Names from stories and legend. And stories and legends that will pass when we have gone into the void. Yes, I have heard these names, but my concern is not with heroes from legend, but villains in the present. I am concerned with my people. You can feel the kind of trees as he speaks sort of sways around him. And he is the largest of them, by the way, as the ones that's there.
I don't think I don't think I have any knowledge that could help us here.
Yeah. I don't know that I do either.
So nudge Greta. Could they have been the Zentarim?
I guess. But in the end, I think what we need to do here is stop the curse. maybe we find information in the cathedral.
Is he willing to let us in? I don't think we've convinced him we know what we're doing. I don't think I'm convinced to know what we're doing.
What was his name? Turling?
We don't even know his name.
His name, if it is the same one, it's Turlang. If that is who this is, although he hasn't introduced himself yet.
Okay,
Oh wait, no, actually, I'm sorry. No, he did introduce himself. I'm sorry. Yes, this is Turlang. You could have pretty much guessed that anyway.
Turling, I'm Greta Goldenfire, and these are my friends River and Salsig. May we enter the cathedral? We are looking for wisdom because the giants are running rampage, and we need information about the Ring of Winter, Force Grey, and Artis Timber. And we will also look for a way to heal you.
What if you have come to speed our destruction? If I allow you in, perhaps you will end us all the faster, as the spark of fire can be blown into a tempest and an inferno. How do I know you will not make things worse?
What can we offer you as proof?
And he sort of, there's pause, and then he kind of leans down. You must take the test. Pass it, and I will believe you are genuine, though I do not think you will deign to take it, for it is dangerous.
What exactly is it?
And he pauses and then leans back up and he says, in ancient days, it was a ritual of passing, proof that you were worthy to enter and see the knowledge of the cathedral. I thought those days were gone, but I see they have come again. If you would pass into the cathedral, then you must take this challenge. And if you succeed, I will allow you entry.
Does every one of us have to take it? We together, or how does it work?
Any who wish access must go. You may take the test together or one alone, but whoever takes it will be allowed to pass, and only them. Any who do not take it must remain outside here.
I look at River and Celtic. Well, I want to go inside.
I think we have to.
Have to.
Okay.
Not necessarily want to, but have to.
Okay.
Well, Turline, then we three will take your test.
Very well. There are 3 tests, and you must choose one of you to take each. The first is the test of courage. The second, the test of strength. The final, the test of sacrifice. You may take the tests in any order.
Why did we leave
I'll
Rash
take
with
courage.
the ponies? Why did we do that?
Yes.
None of us are gonna pass a strength check.
If you have orc
I
blood,
wouldn't say
you
that.
automatically pass. No, just kidding. God damn it.
Well, I think of the 3 of us, I should be the one to take the strength test.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Celsic, you said courage.
Courage test.
Okay, and River, that means sacrifice for you?
Yeah, I just hope they don't want me to give up my food.
Okay, so he says, very well. Which test will you take first?
I think I might take a prayer and then do strength first.
I was actually going to suggest we shuffle my cards and just draw.
Okay. Let's draw.
Okay, so highest card goes last.
Okay.
Says Celsig, knowing full well his deck of cards is marked.
So highest card goes last.
Yeah, which I will be trying to draw.
So River and I have to roll.
Well, I mean, I will be rolled as well, I assume. But it's
What
a
do
marked deck, and I know it's marked, so I know what I'm looking at on the back of the deck.
So we roll a d20.
You up to the DM for?
Well, so are you, if you're going to do that, is that so you're basically each rolling a 20-sided die? Is that the idea? Okay.
And
I guess highest
goes last.
Highest goes last.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm cheating to go last.
Okay. Well, River
To try
critically
and go
hits
last.
with this, therefore getting a 20, and then Greta has a 15. So I like the idea that so go ahead and cheat. Okay. So I like the idea that you're trying to cheat, but somehow River still somehow beats you even with a stacked deck. You're like, how did this happen? God damn it.
River's just like, oh, what a pretty mark.
And you're like, God damn it. Perfect casino work, though.
I like this card. It's different.
So indeed, that means if I'm reading this properly, that Greta would go first, then Celsig, and then River. So,
I think so.
So Greta, this will start with you. So it said the test.
I'm gonna put a guidance on myself first.
Okay.
Because
do that.
that is not cheating.
All right.
This is my God helping. Please.
So you step forward, and in silence, he simply parts his great hands, and the trees move apart, and you see a smaller clearing, maybe 100 feet in diameter, if that, is just past where you are. So you can, that's where the clearing is.
Okay, I walk towards it because apparently that is what is expected.
Okay. When you enter this clearing, the trees close up again behind you, and you are sort of standing there by yourself when, sort of crawling forward, you see what looks like, at first it's not clear, you just see sort of movement at the end. And then you see several large, what look like thorn bushes, but they seem to have these evil faces, twisted and sort of rotten, and they pull themselves towards you. You can't tell whether these are blighted or whether this is just part of the whole mix. And behind those two sort of weird blackthorn type shrubs, there is a fairly decent size, not anywhere near as big as Turlang, but tree, which steps forward. There is no face on this tree, but it is able to move, almost using, again, its roots as feet. And there is a moment's silence, and then Turlang's voice booms out from somewhere. Begin! And,
With what?
and with that, I'm going to ask you to roll initiative. So, it is initiative time, which means I'm going to get rid of this music. And start up with... Oops, sorry, I should have put up the turn tracker. All right.
I rolled.
Yes. No, wait, wrong thing. There we go.
Yep.
Give me that. Let's see. Give me some combat music. Where's my combat music at?
I will actually have to fight a tree now.
It looks like they're asking you to fight a tree. So you'll get a chance to do your burning, I mean, that's...
No. I'm pretty sure that is a really, really, really bad idea.
Burn with inner strength.
Let's see.
Just keep it controlled. This is a control.
Keep it. I will try to trip it.
Just think Empire Strikes Back. Tie rope around it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull my mace and I will see if I can do
Okay.
something with that. But this is going to be a problem.
Sorry, give me 1 sec, because I'm trying to get the right music for this that I thought I had, and apparently I
I
don't.
did not expect the fight.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. This is perfect for
Can I do
this.
something that burns without setting things on fire? Yes, I can. Ha.
Okay. Limited burns are good for forests. Okay. All right.
Yeah, okay. Ha.
So let's see. So, Greta, you got a 14. So you have a 14.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what they roll? Okay. Oh man, my monster manual, the glue is not working. These people. All right. Right. Okay. So. Okay. That is right. And so the other one. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Greta, you were first to act. There are two, so you've got the two shrubs, basically. These two withered sort of blackthorn looking things, and then you've got the tree behind it, which also looks a little weird, like maybe some of that blight is on the side of it or something. It's not totally clear.
So I've got
two shrubs, two basically
shrubs?
these books, and one tree.
Okay, how far away are they?
They are, I mean, this whole clearing is 100 feet, so probably they're within about 40 or 50 feet of you, the shrubs in front. The tree's right behind, so the tree might be, you know, like 50 feet away, and the shrubs might be like 35 to 40 feet.
And they're like charging me?
Well, as much as these things can charge, they definitely look like they are heading in your direction, and they do not look friendly.
Okay. I draw my mace.
Okay.
And I speak a guiding bolt as a 3rd level spell.
Okay.
Into the tree.
Okay. And that works because the tree is actually taller than the two shrubs in front. Okay.
Yeah. That would be 66 of damage.
Okay. And they have a save, I assume they have to make. This actually, is that a ranged spell attack or?
It is a ranged
Okay.
spell attack. It's a guiding bolt. Ranged spell, 100 feet. 4d6 base damage plus 1d6 for each level above the first.
Lovely. Seems
And
like a good...
the target then glows for 1 turn.
Awesome. Let us
It
make
does
that
not
attack.
set it on fire. It's radiant damage. It's not fire damage.
Got it. Cool. All right, let's make that attack then.
Okay. I don't know how to put the extra damage in there, so I'm just gonna roll the 4d6 first.
Well, first you got to hit it though.
Yeah, but still, I'm just gonna click on the spell. And
Oh,
then...
I see. Okay, and then hope for the best. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, here we go.
That would hit. So you do hit with it.
Then I'm gonna put in the 4d6.
Okay.
66.
Wow. Some good stuff.
Yeah, no!
Well,
Well, that was okay.
That's
That
all
was
right.
okay.
No, I'd say
That was
that's pretty
okay.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
25 damage for the tree, please.
All right. So that's
I hope it's a small
out.
tree. I really do.
It streaks out, whoosh, and you can see it strikes the bark, and it sort of recoils a couple of steps, and you can hear this weird, sort of almost ghostly, this terrible keening cry comes from it, and it is still there and still standing, but you have definitely heard it.
Okay.
Do you want to back up, or do you want to stay where you are?
If I can still back up a bit without touching whatever nature is behind me,
Okay.
then I want to back up with my shield and in one hand, my mace in the other hand, and let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. So you back up. They come in. Okay. So the two shrubs sort of crawl towards you rather more rapidly than you would think they would be able to, insofar as they look like bushes, basically. And then the tree comes basically right behind them. So they are now, next turn, they will be able to reach you and attack because you've run out of room behind you, because you got the trees behind you as well. So this is as close as you can, this is as far away as you can get. The good news, though, is that it's your turn again.
Okay. So does the tree look like heavily hurt or just a little bit hurt or something?
More than a little bit hurt. I don't know how heavily, though. It doesn't look close to death, but you definitely struck it a solid blow.
Okay, then I'm going to do my level 1 guiding bolt as well, and then I'm out of guiding bolts.
Okay.
So this is a 4d6 guiding bolt that does a... With an 8, do I hit a tree?
No, sadly not. Unfortunately
Okay.
not. This tree is moving a little bit, so your bolt goes off harmlessly in another direction.
Okay.
And now what? Because you can't really go any farther back without hitting the things or without hitting the trees behind you. So do you wish to sort of stay, engaged with it or not?
So I have like 3 nature things running in my direction, and this arena is a circle.
Correct.
Well, then there is no place where they would be further away from me, so I'll stand my ground here.
Okay. All right. Next to move are the bushes, which come upon you now and lash out with their branches, trying to rake you, basically. However, a 5 and an 8, I don't think are going to get the job done. So those both miss, and then the tree comes in to make its attack. But let's see, 15.
I'm trying to find out how much the shield adds to my armor, and I cannot find it.
Probably 2 at least.
Then if it's 2, then it's 14. Then my armor class is 14.
Yeah, because let's double check on the shield. Actually, it might be +1, but let me double check.
Because I click on equipped and it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Well, what does it say on your character sheet, though? Because it might just take that into account already.
I was going to say, I
Armor
think
class
the
by 2. I
equip's
found it.
sometimes.
Armor class by 2, so I have an armor class 14 now.
Okay, so it was by 2. That's what I thought. Okay,
So 15 hits.
15 does hit. Okay, that's what I thought. So it basically picks you up and slams you on the ground, just Hulk style slam as it hits you. And that's going to do 14 points of damage. Wham! As you are bashed into the ground.
Okay. Wait a minute.
But you are not held by it. It just does that, and then you're released again.
Okay, 14. Okay.
Okay, that brings us back up to you. So you can now, you are not prone, so you can actually, you scramble to your feet. So you can now act again.
That was the tree or the bush?
That was the tree. The bushes both missed you.
The bushes both missed me. Okay, that is really nice. Let's have a look what I can do here. 1d8 with a spell, or 1d6 plus 3 with a mace. I will try to hit it with a mace.
Okay.
Click.
Oh, it was right on that 19. Unfortunately, that does not hit. That is a critical miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I do want to point. I want to point out.
This tree is really hard to hit. You know that.
It is. It's definitely. Apparently, its bark is not as bad as its bite. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I apologize. It's just terrible, and I feel sorry, but not really that sorry. I want to remind everybody, by the way, that if you have an inspiration available on my channel, they are used up. This is the last campaign I'm doing that is on my or other channels this month. So now is the chance. If you have an inspiration, now's your chance to use it if you want to help one of these completely competent, capable of handling everything individuals. Now is your chance. So
help me hit a tree. Help me hit a tree.
Hit a tree. Yeah, I know. We got to root those out, right, Darksteel? Know what I'm saying?
Or you could leave her to her fate.
Yeah. Maybe she's trying to branch out into some exploration of the dark side. Good times, good times. All right, waiting. Inspired person in need. Oh, behave. That's right, nonstop. I think you had an inspiration that you were saving precisely for this purpose, I believe. So if I'm not...
Stop saving the day again.
Again, nonstop is like so clutch. Oh, man. All right, nonstop. So nonstop, I believe you had one left, right, nonstop? So you inspire Greta to hit again. Hit it again. Hey! That's what I'm talking about.
There, natural 20.
Critical hit.
Nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop with the clutch. The critical hit, from the critical fail to the critical hit, as usual, nonstop coming together. All right, max damage.
That is the power of inspiration here.
That is the power of inspiration. Nice stuff, nonstop. All right, man. What's the so what are we at? Let's look at the what's the max damage for your mace?
1d6 plus 3, so 9.
9 points of damage. Okay, that's gonna stick. All right. So you smash it, and you like a bunch of bark comes flying off it. You can see that it's starting to look kind of a little wobbly now. There's definitely bark off it. A lot of the leaves have hit the ground, although part of that is from this whatever blight it is. Yeah, exactly. We're getting to the root of the problem. I love it. I love it. It's you got to dig and get some more dirt, right? Know what I'm saying? All right. The shrubs come in to make their attack. They miss terribly. Because I don't think a 10 is going to hit you. You said 14, right?
14.
Is your AC. Then the tree comes in. Unfortunately, the tree's got an 18. So the tree is going to do it again. Ow. That's 18 points of damage. Slam!
That makes 32 in total, doesn't it?
So, yeah, so 42. I had you at 42 minus 18. So that would be 24 is what you'd be down to.
No. Yeah. I have 54.
No. No. You had 50. What
50,
did you start with?
56.
Right. And you lost, I think it was
32 points of damage. Didn't I? Am I wrong?
You lost...
Yes, 32, yes. 14 and 18. I lost 32.
Lost 32, right. So you should be down to 24. Yeah. So, so that's right. So you get slammed into the ground. Now you can stand up and act again. The two shrubs. This thing does look hurt. You've definitely done some damage to it.
Yeah, but if I can take 18 points of damage per turn, that is really... That hurt. That hurt a lot.
Yes, that's true. It would be helpful to stop getting picked up and slammed by it.
Yeah, one moment. In that case...
You have your healing potion?
I'm not sure if I could now, like, dropping my shield to try to pull it out would actually be a good idea. Because I think I need a hand to drink a healing potion.
Right. You can. So the way that would work is you could basically sling it onto your back and take the healing potion out and drink it as your action. But then you would have to take a turn before you could get that shield back.
Yeah.
But you could do that. I mean, that's fun.
It's fun, yeah. I'm pretty sure that is really fun, like all the fun.
You hear some dwarven curses and a slamming sound, by the way, Selsig and River, from inside the clearing.
Wow.
Yeah, no problem, no worries. I'm doing this. I can totally do this. That doesn't. If I take a prayer of healing, can I use all 6 charges on myself?
Oh, jeez. I don't know, so I'm going to look it up to make sure, because I don't know.
So can I be 6 creatures of my choice?
No, I'm pretty sure you cannot be that. But let's take a look.
Because that's the only one I have memorized on level 2 right now.
Up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range. Each regain.
I can see myself, and I'm in my range.
Yeah, but I don't know if Prayer of Healing does qualify. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's designed to do it like that. Okay, so what you can do is you can restore to yourself hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. But you don't get to do that 6 times. So you count as one of the creatures, but only one.
So 2d8 plus my spell casting modifier.
Correct, unless you were to cast it at a higher spell slot, in which case you can see that the healing increases by 1d8
I cannot.
You use it
all
up.
my 3rd level spell slots are taken.
Yeah, so then I would say the 2d8 plus your spell casting.
That seems to be a waste. But I should still do this. I'm gonna try to hit myself with my healing word.
Okay.
Do I need to roll that?
No, I don't think you'll have to
Because
worry about
I'm totally willing and everything.
to be able to hit yourself.
Not healing word. Let's say which one was it? I've got so many healing spells. Prayer of healing. I mean.
Oh,
yeah.
it is prayer feeling. Yes, that's fine. No, you don't need to worry about that.
Right.
Because
Okay.
that's as long as you can see them. That's not even a roll. So,
So
so just roll your
2d8.
2d8 plus your modifier. Yep.
Does it do it automatically? I'm gonna try this out now. No, it doesn't do anything if I click it. Okay. So 2d8 plus 6 it should be. Oh, cast at what level? There we go. It asks me. Whoa. Level 2. Submit. Now. There. It does 2d8.
All right. So
How much?
10 points of healing. And I think that should be right because it looks like, just looking at this, we've got 3. Yeah. So it looks like it added on properly your spellcasting modifier. So it's a total of 10. So you feel, I wouldn't say hale and hearty, but a lot better than you did.
Yeah, so I only have 14 points of damage. No, I have 34 points of health now.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Good.
Okay. In come the shrubs again, trying to rake you. And they both miss. They have been not doing any damage to you. It's the tree that's been the problem, but you'll be happy to know that it only rolls this time a 12. So it does not hit you. So for a change, you actually get to strike it back without it striking you first.
Yeah. Yay.
Hey, what's up, Adaruxu?
26 plus 3 versus. I'm gonna take. How much does this do? Okay, I'm going to use a cantrip, which also does radiation damage, so not setting anything on fire still.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my sacred flame here on the tree.
Okay.
Oh wow, 4 damage.
Okay.
God, no.
4
Okay.
damage with Sacred Flame, which is Radiant,
Okay.
you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's definitely hurt. Not dead, though. But definitely hurt. Let's see.
Okay, next time, mace. That was not really good.
The bushes miss again, and so does the tree. Okay, so you've gotten another. It's 2 rounds in a row that everyone has missed. So you get another chance as they
Okay,
swing
mace.
wildly at you.
What is it with me and my mace?
Miss, unfortunately. Still aiming at the tree, I assume, right? Still trying to hit the tree?
Yeah, still aiming at the tree because it was the only one hurting me so far.
Okay. As you say that, one of the bush rakes you. But the good news does not do as much damage, just 1 single point of damage that time. So the bushes do not seem to be a big deal.
So 1 damage. Okay,
So
I'm
you should
down
be
to
at 33, I believe,
Yes.
is what I have you at. Okay,
Okay.
you're up again. Yes, Pyron is fighting greenery as part of a test of strength.
I'm gonna mace it again. Just
Hey,
yeah.
that's a hit.
I can hit stop with my mace.
That's
there,
a hit.
Good. Okay, so that is 1d6 plus 3. I really wish I could somehow automate this. 1d6 plus.
Yeah, there's ways somehow, but...
Yeah. Oh. 7.
Okay, 7 points of damage. Now it is looking very hurt. It's looking like it sort of staggers a little bit back and forth. Still not dead, but it looks very hurt now. And hey, what's up, Kilgore? And now they come back in again. The 2 bushes attack. Oh boy. Well, 14, 19, and 20 from the tree. So everything hits, basically.
Okay.
So the first one, though, is just a glancing blow that doesn't actually even hurt. The second one does 2 points of damage to you. And then the tree, which is the big problem, is
Yes.
15 points of damage. So 2 from the bush and 15 from the other makes 17 total.
So I'm down to 16.
Yes.
Hey, it's time for another healing. Gosh darn it. Then I'm just gonna use my cure wounds on myself, which at least gives me 1d8, which is plus my spellcasting modifier, which is better than nothing.
Okay.
I see. Yes, so 1d8 plus 6. It is. Wait, like this. 1d8 plus 6.
13. All right.
Okay, so I'm up to 29 again.
29. All right. You get that spell off just as the bushes come in. We've got a, let's see, we've got a 10 and an 18, which you'll be happy to know that the tree only gets a 13. So the tree misses. The one bush hits and does only 1 point of damage. So you're at 28.
Okay, let's... Oh, I closed it. Let's hit it with a mace again.
With the mace.
Hit it with a mace.
Hit.
The hits. So I closed the damn rolling thing again. 1d6 plus 3.
Wow.
9 max damage.
So you smash into it. It sort of staggers left and right and left, and then and slams into the ground and does not move. And the remaining 2 bushes, you don't know whether they kind of groan. They rustle in vengeance, I guess. And come in. One misses with a 6, but the other one gets an 18 and does 2 more points of damage to you. So you're now facing 2 of these blackthorn bushes that you're facing.
Okay, I'm just taking the left one with a mace.
Okay. Hit.
There we go. And roll. Oh well.
Okay. That actually looks like you took a lot out of it. It's not dead, but that hurt it quite a bit. These are not big. You're in for a world of pine. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. We got a 2 and a 10 from those, so 2 misses. So on these ones. So now you're up, Greta.
Okay, and mace.
Critically hit. Wow. I guess this is what happens when your back is against the wall. Give me that. Give me that max damage again, please.
9.
Okay, so you just bash right through the middle of this thing, slam this thing, and smash it into a million bits. And now there's just the one shrub that remains. It goes after you, but only gets a 12. So it's now you're up. Look at these rolls. All right, that's a hit. All right. Nonstop gave you the inspiration. It just keeps going. Keep on going. Okay, let's see. So.
It's a 4 damage.
All right, so that means it's up to 6. There's 4, 6. Okay, good. All right. Now it 17 and does 3 points of damage.
Okay.
All right, you're up next.
Got it. 16.
Will hit.
Okay. And 8 damage.
And you smash it into absolute bits. It is smashed into bits, and as you sort of look around you, there is silence, and the sort of forest around you seems to almost take a breath in some way. And then says, "Very nice. If I were you, I will not stand for this oversimplification, but if you're okay with it, I'll leave it there." Nice, nice. Well done. Well done. That is good stuff. I wouldn't have thought it was possible, but that's good work. Anyway, so you sort of wait a moment, and then you hear Turlang's voice saying, "It is complete. You have passed the first test." And the trees open up again to allow you access back to your compatriots.
Okay. I walk back and I look at Turlang and I say, "I'm disappointed. This is the kind of strength you want to see, sending more of your friends to death." And then I just slumped down to the ground.
And it says nothing, but turns and says, "The test of courage and of sacrifice remains. Who will go next?"
I was hoping River forgot she was going last.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You guys.
I actually forgot that myself.
I just sort of look at River Point and just like, ah. I step forward.
Okay. So,
I stand up and go over to Celsic and say, "Good luck, my friend," and I put a guidance on him.
okay.
Okay. What's guidance do again? Sorry.
Your next ability check gets a plus 1d4.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, he waits and then reaches down a great hand and grabs you, Selsig, and thrusts you aloft, and you feel yourself going up and up. And then it feels as if you are seized by what almost seems like a vine, and the vine pushes you above the top. Eventually, you're above the top of the forest. And now you're just going up and up and up, and now you are hundreds of feet above the ground, maybe more. You can feel it swaying back and forth, this vine, as you go up. The wind sort of strikes you in the face, the cold wind of the outside of the forest. You kind of blink in the autumn sun, and you kind of try to, hold on as this thing is swaying back and forth and swaying back and forth, and finally comes to a rest where you are just, you don't even know, like farther above than you were when you were on the back of Kalusmana, just sort of swaying this small little vine which extends all the way back down into the top of the forest cover. And you can almost feel, almost more than hear, rumbling through the branches, you hear, "Now, what would you risk for your friends? Now, will you sit here and accept your fate?" And you can feel like the thing is swaying over like it's about to let you go, and then sways back like it's about to let you go, and you can feel like the vine is beginning to uncurl around your body.
Oh, bugger. I attempt to start climbing down.
As you do, the vine sort of almost like it essentially like squeezes again at you, in like almost painfully, and you hear, "You will make no attempt to escape. Have you no courage for this test?"
I think climbing down's pretty brave.
And there's just silence as it sort of rocks you back and forth. Then it pulls you back. And there's a pause. And then it throws you forward and releases you. So you feel yourself soaring over the top of the trees, and sort of heading towards the ground, and you can hear what sounds like laughter, and you hear sort of calling up from down below in the tree cover, "Ask for us to save you. Ask for it, and we will. We will save you if you ask. You need only ask, and we will catch you safely. What will you do?" And you can see yourself like the
been waiting a long time to say this. I take some pixie dust.
Yes.
I was so not expecting that.
It has a chance to give me flying for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Is it a good chance?
Well, put it this way. I'm either flying, invisible, or unconscious. Or confused.
I guess that's
In my current situation, any of those is an improvement. Now, whether or not I can pull this off while I'm falling from a very high height is another matter.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see him fly by?
No, you don't see any of it because he's way above the tree cover.
Big payoff for chat there was like, yes!
After all these months, finally! Okay. So, you sprinkle this, and actually I want to make sure, this is the pixie dust. This is not the vial of dust that I think we gave to River, right?
No,
Don't you?
no,
Okay,
no.
I want to make sure that I'm
I can't actually remember where.
not
we
confusing
put
my
it.
dust. No, that's
I've had
right.
This pouch of pixie dust for months.
So
We got it last year, I think.
So you sprinkle this this pixie. Actually, you know what? Since you are hurtling through the air, I'm gonna have you make a dexterity check to find if you can do this. But if you want, you can use guidance on this if you so choose.
I think I will. So just standard dexterity at a +4.
Right.
No, not at a +4.
No, you add a 1d4.
1d4.
Yeah, sorry. So
Yeah, if this ends badly, at least he lived well. Exactly.
Dex,
At least he lived well.
and D4.
Yeah, you're able to do it.
Plus, I said I was taking the roll anyway, so that's a 16.
It's a good thing it was a 15 because the 1 wouldn't help that much. Yeah, you were actually able to grab from your bag the vial of pixie dust. You see rapidly like the cover, the forest cover is coming up towards you.
Yeah, so the question is, what does it do?
Yep. Good question.
How do we roll that?
Well, you tell me. What are you doing? Like, are you just sprinkling it on yourself? Because you're right. You don't exactly know what it does.
I'm kind of rubbing it on my face, so I don't know, because I don't know how this works. I don't know if you ingest it. I don't know if you sprinkle it on yourself. So I'm trying to combine all of the above by just rubbing it on my face.
Okay. So you rub it on your face, and the effect that it has is, as you are plummeting to the ground, you suddenly feel this strange sensation like your face is tingling, and the next thing you know, and your face is up and your body is like dangling beneath as you are like sort of like going down towards this tree cover, gradually sinking down towards the tree cover. And you get closer and closer, and you hear sort of shouting up from below this voice saying, "This makes no difference. You will still be destroyed when you reach the tree cover. Simply reach out for help."
I'm
like,
still
okay.
Yeah, I can't see the trees. They don't exist. I'm looking up. La la.
All right. And then your feet actually touch the leaves. And just as you feel like, because you're still going pretty quickly, although you were much slower when you put this on. So just as you feel like, well, that's it, something else grabs you. And it feels like a vine again. And you are passed over the top of the tree cover, sort of from vine to vine to vine to vine, all the way back along the path that you were thrown. And then at the last second, you are pulled, almost yanked down somewhat unceremoniously, down to the ground, where you find Turlang and Greta and River waiting for you. And when you touch the ground, you're still kind of like, so you're still sort of staring up this way. And there's a pause, and then Turlang says, "You have proven your courage."
Are you okay?
I feel a bit lightheaded.
He's been waiting for that joke, too, for a long time. Done and dusted, right? Oh, my God. And there is a moment's silence, and then Turlang says, "One test remains, the test of sacrifice."
All right, I walk up to him.
River, would you also like a little prayer?
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna put a guidance on her as well. It's a cantrip. I can do this all day.
Oh.
Now, this time, you were lifted up as well, although not the way that Selsig was. You were simply lifted above the tree cover, so that it is now just you, and you see the face of Turlang sort of staring at you as you're held in one of his great hands. His roots extend upwards so that he's even taller than he was before. That's how he can do this. And so your companions cannot hear this conversation. And he looks at you, and you can see sort of in his sort of faded, wrinkled eyes, his face, his kind of blighted face. He looks upon you and he says, "If you would pass this test, you must give up something of value. Value that is something of yours." And there's a pause, and then, "What would you sacrifice for your friends? What would you do to enter the Shadowtop Cathedral?"
I'm looking at what I even have.
Also, doesn't have to be material. I mean, you don't know until you talk to them, but.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
But actually, this one is, what would you do to give me a Klondike bar, right?
Right. What would be an acceptable sacrifice?
I cannot determine that. I can only judge the sacrifice you choose to make. The one you make must be true and must be painful. If you give up something that matters, it will prove your worthiness for this test. But you must decide what that means for you.
I dig into my pouch and take out a loaf of bread and try to hand it to him.
There's sort of silence, and then... A loaf of bread?
It's so warm and flaky, and I don't think I can give it up, but I'll give it to you if it means we can get it to the tower.
So there's a moment of silence, and then... You have the right direction, but not the right strength. If you will restrain your desire for food, if you will place it to the side, if you will swear an oath to this, the sacrifice will be genuine. Not one loaf, but many.
Let me take a minute.
Yep.
Okay.
The birds twitter.
Okay, Mr. Tree Man. I will make an oath to not eat all the food.
And there's a moment, and down below, you all see this sort of, hear this kind of rumbling in the roots. And then Turlang brings you down, River, and puts you down next to your compatriots. The two of you, Greta and Selsig, see River looks extremely sad. And Turlang says, "The test is passed. You may enter the Shadow Top Cathedral. You have proven yourselves worthy." And again, a path opens up, but this time into a shining, glittering glade. And the passageway is open, basically, between the trees for you, the three of you, if you wish.
I walk over to River. Are you okay?
I'll be okay.
I can't see anything because I'm still like this. Can someone point me in the right direction?
Why is your face glittering anyway?
Oh, remember that pixie dust?
Oh no, you rubbed it on your face?
I don't know. It didn't come with instructions.
You could have.
I don't know how you feel when you're falling from a very great height.
What? Okay, let's try. I'll try to rub it off. Can I pull him down a little bit so I can do it?
You could try to do that. You basically make it so that you're able to pull enough of it off that he just sort of has kind of a snooty, nose in the air kind of expression at the moment. Just kind of looking down and just kind of but he no longer looks like he's ready for a Freddie Mercury biopic. There's no time for us. They actually said. So yes, he's now you're able to see in front of you. You just have to kind of look down a little bit your nose,
Okay, so I try to put one arm around River because she seems sad, and one arm around Celtic so he moves in the right direction, and then move forward towards the citadel.
Okay. Inside this glade, you can see there are many trees, obviously, that encircle it. And it's not a building, actually. It looks like it's just kind of a lot more trees. However, there is an enormous tree. And I don't mean really tall as much as I mean wide. This huge tree with gnarled and open roots. And you can actually see there is looks like a path which leads down below and between the roots of the tree itself. And Turlang, as you walk close to it, says, "You may enter, but use care. It is a place of great power." And coughs.
Okay, I'll try to see if I see something that I should take care of.
You don't see anything on the outside necessarily, although you could do an investigation check to really kind of see around the outside of it. But otherwise, going inside, like down below the roots, might be possible. It's big enough that like all of you could fit without even having a duck.
Okay, then I'll look at my companions. We go inside.
Okay. Inside this room is something rather extraordinary, and that is that you can actually see there are many, many curved bookshelves around the inside of this enormous trunk. And there are books piled high on every one of those shelves that extends all around you. But in the center of the room, you see what looks like an enormous wooden, almost like a lump, sort of almost like a part of the root system. And it looks terrible. Right now, it looks as if there is sort of, again, this blight that I've described seems to be around the center of it. And you can see that the lump is vaguely pulsing occasionally, but erratically, and not sort of strongly. You can see this, like the heart of a tree almost, around which these books are arrayed.
So, looks like we found the core of the curse. I look at River.
Or a cursed core.
Or that. Can you do something with this, River?
Can I do something with it?
Well, first of all, you'll have to go up and take a look at it. So
Okay, let's go up and take a look at it.
Okay, we go over and have a look at it.
Take a look at it.
go ahead and make so you can make an Arcana check for me. The others can make investigation checks if they wish. There's only so much that you can see that if you don't have. Although actually, if anyone else has an Arcana, you can try to use that. But otherwise, investigation.
I'll take investigation
I don't have Arcana.
for a 24.
Got a 9, I don't know anything.
10.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, that was Arcana, River? It was just
I don't have Arcana.
Okay, it was just a flat. All right.
Yeah.
Celsig, you can see that there does seem to be sort of below. So there's this huge lump that I described, and then there's this blight around the outside of it. But you can see sort of eating away below the bark that is being eaten away. You can see what looks like this bright green pulp of some kind, as if that is the sort of, bless you, as if that is the center of this thing that the blight is attempting to eat away to get to.
I think this is the core of the curse.
So there's the green stuff is healthy stuff?
Yeah, from what you can tell.
Oh.
Well, I couldn't, so I'm looking at Celtic.
Oh, great. No, I was saying that to Celsig. Celsig, from what you can tell, that does seem to be the healthy stuff, yes.
It looks like it's the healthy stuff. Don't think I'm going to try touching it, though.
Does it look like we could maybe scrape the black thing off or something?
Not without some other kind of magical intervention on top of it, or divine intervention on top of it.
I don't think we should be poking this thing unless we know what we're doing, and we probably make it worse.
We just get a really long stick.
I'll go find one.
I didn't. I'm gonna shoot a sacred flame with radiant damage into it.
What? Why?
Why shouldn't I? What do you say?
He's
shooting the
looking for a
core?
stick.
No, if it's evil, then the holy flame of Foltos should clean it.
What if Voltes doesn't like trees?
It's not fire. It's radiance. It's the core of light.
Yeah, but if Voltes doesn't like trees, then we'll just kill the tree.
Foltos does not have a dislike towards trees.
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure that would be a thing that would be known. Like, here's this
It
god
could
of
have
light,
happened
and
recently.
he hates trees. He likes trees. He gives them light to make their leaf stuff.
Their leaf stuff.
I'm pretty sure Rita does not know about photosynthesis, but she knows that plants need light.
Okay, so are you actually doing that? Are you gonna shoot the?
I'm looking at River. Do you have a better idea?
No, I was just gonna throw spells at it till something happened.
What kind of spell could you throw something at it?
I have a chill touch cantrip.
We could You mean like we could freeze it off?
Maybe. Or I could just upset it really badly and then it'll kill us.
Could just leave it alone.
We can't. We promised
Why
the
do you
tree to
keep
try to
using
help them.
that button?
Okay. Maybe we'll find out what they did. Maybe they didn't know about the spell before they came here. So maybe we can.
Yeah, is there any evidence of non-tree based interaction going on here previously?
I would say the original investigation check could prove that was so, yes. In fact, there look to have been, as you're looking at the blight, a series of cuts that were made, looking as if they were almost like, and as you look at the cut, in fact, it looks to you like not just cut, but as if it was cut into some kind of rune.
Rune?
Looks like a letter, yes. Like,
River!
What?
What's this?
Oh no. Sorry.
Greta! What's this?
Okay, I stare at it. Is it a dwarven room? Maybe I could read that.
It is actually a dwarven rune. Yes.
Dwarven power.
And the dwarven rune is quite literally the rune for the word blight.
Okay, so it's carved into the tree.
Yes. It's carved
And
into the center of it here, the lump, whatever.
So could we interpret this as a wound in the tree?
Yes. Yes, but that doesn't mean you get to heal it as a wound per se, unless you tell me specifically what you're doing with it.
I also have mending, but that is more for things that are not alive. And I would say a tree is alive.
But the part that you are doing, the bark side of it, would technically not have the same kind of living quality. The question is, how are you going to mend it? In other words, are you just mending it by just remove it? Are you doing something to alter the rune? Or are you just removing it totally?
Is there a rune for that doesn't mean decay, but maybe means healing?
Sure. I would say that there is a dwarven rune that does that. Sure. That says that anyway. Is that what you want to say?
Yes.
Okay. So you cast mending, and I'm going to ask you to make a medicine check here.
24?
Yeah. So you move and sort of manipulate, and you see the rune begin to alter. And as soon as the rune reaches that state of healing, basically when it removes any reference to blight, you see the blight literally blisters, and then shoots outwards from the center. I need all three of you to make dexterity saving throws for me, please.
Oh, mama. 15.
Okay. Let's find out what everyone else did. Okay.
I'm gonna get hit in the face.
Yes. So Celsig and Greta, you managed to dodge out of the way. But River, you are struck in the face by this stuff. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Ah, okay. You feel something pass over you, this terrible choking sensation, but you sort of draw upon your reserves, your sadness and anguish at the sacrifice you've made. You pull upon all of that and cough out whatever this was. You take 5 points of damage,
Okay.
but you do not suffer any permanent effects beyond that. And as you look up, you can see that the tree, the center of the tree, no longer has any blight on it. There are just a few spores sort of settling out and disappearing on the floor even as you watch. And you can feel around you this kind of great movement and motion. And there is a commotion outside. There's a great rumbling outside of the cathedral.
Anybody want to look outside?
I was thinking more about the books.
Little dazed from getting hit in the mouth with some black goo. So.
Are
Did it
you
taste
okay,
good?
River? I'm gonna check on River first.
Okay.
I make him.
Ugh, it's gross. Yeah.
It doesn't look
Okay,
good.
but, ugh.
Maybe I give her some water to clean her mouth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rumbling is continuing.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
God.
they're gonna call on us if they need us, right?
Or not. We might think we've done the right thing. We don't know. I better go and have a look.
Yeah. Well, in case we did not, we should maybe check the books quick and not go outside yet.
You hear Turlang's voice, "Come forth!" And you can't
Gosh
tell
darn
whether
it.
it's anger or what. You don't know what that sound is. But his
We're not
voice
done
sounds
yet.
his voice sounds stronger though.
You just see like Celtic's top half of his head just appear around the corner of the entrance, just like, you rang?
And actually, as you look around the side, you see right next to the roots, like his face is like right next to the roots, the entrance. And he looks at you and he says, Yes, my friends. I see there is good that remains. Yes, I am all right. We are all right. And you see that the blight that faced him, that sort of surrounded him, is now gone. And as you kind of look just around the outside, Celsi, you can see that the trees around them, everywhere these spores whoosh, are bursting off of the side of the wood, of the trunks of the trees. And drifting down through the air, catching a little bit of the little shafts of light that do shoot down from the tree cover and sort of settle to the ground. You feel this great rush of movement and this shout of triumph from Turlang. And then he leans back down again and laughs and says, "Ah, my friends. It seems there is reason to believe in hope, after all." And for a change, not on that kind of a cliffhanger, we are going to close the session on some good news for a change. As the party has removed the curse, apparently. And now we'll have a chance to see what they find at the Shadowtop Cathedral. Because we are a couple minutes past time, but I wanted to make sure we did this. Yeah, victory is yours.
Yes.
Oh, man. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. We had a lot of variety today of the stuff that you folks had to do, and you all handled it well. I wondered how you were going to manage these various tests, and our boy Turlang. I will start, as I usually do, down below with the trooper. I figured that you'd appreciate the fact that you had to deal with these spores. River, I felt like Chai, I felt like this would, fit your description of how you were feeling in general. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine people see you next?
Right, my cat's driving me crazy. I actually really liked this session. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it gave River an opportunity to be useful for once,
Yeah.
which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was awesome. I love it. The next time that I will stream here on GOG will be next week, because I've canceled this week's stream because I definitely have con illness, which is great. Otherwise, I will be streaming over on my channel, hopefully on Friday if I'm feeling well enough. We'll see. But yeah.
good stuff, and thank you for bearing with it, Chai. I appreciate it. I know from the con crud, so I'm sorry you had to deal with it, but thank you for sticking with it. Good stuff today, and you did very well with River. I think I really enjoyed the sacrifice moment in its own way. We'll see. That might play out in interesting ways, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. As for what is River's channel, you just saw it right there with the host. You can actually see the link, including Tasty Chai's channel, and you should do that because she is an excellent streamer. Thank you, Chai. Good stuff today. Of course, Screaming Joypad is not with us, but should be back with us next month. We're going to browbeat him into making it at all costs. But we will see Screaming Joypad hopefully back with us here next month. Not hopefully, it will happen. There is no try, only do or do not. So there will be do. That's what we'll do. Anyway, moving right along to Celsig, played by Darksaber. So, Saber, you had to really pass the test of courage. I don't know if you felt that the beard allowed you to do that more successfully, but how'd you feel about today? When will the fine people see you next?
I think today was a great laugh. We like you said, we've had some varied and interesting challenges to overcome. It's been fun working through our own what's the word, dysfunction.
Yes, yes.
To overcome those, and it was satisfying to finally get a use for the pixie dust.
That was pretty funny too. Yes, although if you had gotten it and then it dropped out of your hands, I would have God damn it.
Would have happened.
Oh, man.
As for when you can see me next, I will be streaming here on GOG tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a Welcome Back Alan Wake stream. For those of you who remember, I did the farewell stream to it when it disappeared because of the musical contracting stuff. And I'm hoping I can also squeeze in a little look at the newly released Call of Cthulhu over on my own channel, which is twitch.tv/darksaber2k, because I do like Lovecraftian horror games, and this looks like an interesting one. So hopefully I can squeeze that in before my stream here tomorrow.
Good stuff, man, and again, well done today. I enjoyed seeing the comedy stylings and otherwise of Celsig, and you managed things I think pretty well, so that was fun. I was cracking up at the what is this? And Rose was like, I don't know. Greta, what is this? I just somebody that's not me. What is this thing? That was pretty funny. But good stuff, and thank you, Saber. Good work. Last but certainly not least, of course, where it all got started, Pyron with the dragon mask. It worked. She did it. She was able to do this through the whole thing. Thank you, Pyron. It was a lot of fun. How did you feel about today? Where will the fine people see you next?
I absolutely loved today's session, and I have to say one of my favorite moments is when, during the test of courage, Celsig was like, no, screw this. I'm not going to do your test. This is my fairy dust.
Exactly.
Pixie
love dust, baby.
Pixie dust. Sorry, pixie dust. I just, I really, really love that moment, I have to say. This is going to be one of my favorite. There's this giant tree who says, we're going to test you. And Celtic is like, you know what? No.
Not today. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know when the wonderful people were going to see me again. Sometimes in chat, I have no stream planned in the near future, but I would like to tell people about our Halloween week, because we're celebrating Halloween the whole week through. And if you look at our public schedule, we have tricks and treats on there. So the tricks are, of course, the scary, spooky Halloween streams, while the treats are funny, happy, lovely, non-spooky streams for people like me. And so you will have to find out what game it is by tuning in. I would also like to say thank you to Tik and Gia, who handled all the giveaways in chat.
Yeah.
That was just really,
we had a lot
really
of giveaways too. Do we? I don't know. We had 4 of them or something. I mean, it was a good amount.
The Halloween bot is actually quite nice.
Yeah. No, it's definitely
also,
been working well.
A lot of thanks to Dizzy and Memories and 8-Bit, who are handling the bot in the background with all the resets and all the technical stuff. So, yay! Still wonderful stream team. Really happy.
It was really great stuff. And of course, Pyron, you've been a great part of keeping things going super, super well. So thank you, Pyron, very much. And you will get a chance to see these folks back. As I've said all along, I've really been enjoying this campaign because, each of my campaigns are good in their own way, but I love the chemistry among this group and the sense of fun. And sometimes D&D can get very no, here is the key. We must do so silence. Let's be clear. We're all kind of dressing up here as dragons and Gandalf and horn cat. Actually, wait. What? I have to ask Chai. What is that? You have horns and ears and a cloak, right? I want to make sure I know.
Yeah.
So
I do. It's actually, this is a cow.
Okay. It is a demon cow.
I was trying to find a dragon thing, and there were no horns, there were no dragon masks. I found one dragon mask. It was $50, and I'm like, no. So yes, I have a cloak, and I like have the fishnet to try and pretend like scales. That's what I'm trying
Very.
to do. And then I'm just like trying to hide the ears.
That's yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I dig it. It came out really, really well. I was really happy to see that, and I really like that. Again, that sense of fun that is really enjoyable for me. And as I say, they're level 6 already, and have made some serious progress into this, into finding these details and gathering information. So it's been fun to sort of see how this happens. Yeah, cow with a cape can only be super cow. I agree. So that is going to do it for me for this evening. We are going to rise on out of here, and I will close up shop. I believe just before I let you all go, it is Dango Kitty tomorrow, right? That's the next person who's up and going. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, but thank you to the wonderful GOG stream crew. Chat, and good job out of chat as well. Nonstop, nice work out of your inspiration as always, coming through at the right time.
Yes.
The cow
Oh,
level
yes.
is a lie. That's very true. So thank you to everybody for being awesome. And chat, can we get some love for our wonderful players? Thank you to Pyron Jade. Thank you to Darksaber2K. Thank you to Tasty Chai. And of course, we'll see Screaming Joypad next month. Folks, great job, everybody. And I will see you folks very soon. Until then, thank you so much. All right. And there we go. Good stuff, folks. Good stuff. So we got a chance to really make some good progress in this, and to do so with some fun times. So that was great. I really enjoyed that, and I hope that you all did as well. I always said when I was actually got a chance to come onto the stream team some years ago, one of the reasons that I was willing to do it was because I felt like the community and the people there were very similar to the members of my own community. And I really admired their sort of sense of, again, fun, but just comradeship and everything. So it was good stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And I have been proven right in that guess, because again, I really enjoy these folks. So, and I enjoy all of you as well. Best ending of a stream yet. Yeah, there you go. So I'm looking forward to next week. Now, next week I will be back at you all with on this very channel with more Thronebreaker. I will be continuing a series that I started last week on that. I'll be continuing with Thronebreaker next week on GOG Pen and Pixels, and then I'll be setting up with the rest of them to find out when we're going to be doing things, when our next session is going to be in terms of D&D. As far as we are concerned on my own channel, I will be back on my own channel definitely on Friday. But I probably will be back as well on Wednesday because, of course, it will be Halloween night, as you all know. And normally, I like to have a special session where I basically stream a couple of spooky stories. I always do Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, which is a poem, not a story. And then I usually do something else, sometimes The Mask of Red Death, sometimes The Cask of Amontillado, sometimes a story of my own, so we'll see. But I am looking forward to doing that sometime on Wednesday. I don't know when it's going to be. And I do want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream today, including, and yes, Echo, I wasn't going to forget, your wonderful streamer introduction. I really appreciated the streamer introduction from Echo today that got us started out right, and I appreciated all of you enjoying yourselves in chat. And if you liked it, I hope you will continue to follow the channel, sub to the channel, and I hope that you will check us out on our own channels as well. That would be most lovely if you were able to do that. But that's going to do it for me for now. Dango Kitty is going to be back tomorrow with, I don't remember what it said she was doing. Dango Kitty is going to be bringing you a treat, and that's going to be happening tomorrow, so make sure you stick around for that. Again, I will be back on my channel probably tomorrow night with some Halloween sort of oriented stuff, and then I will of course be to you folks on Friday back on my own channel, and back here on Tuesday. And I should mention, actually, in the Halloween spirit, Saturday on my channel I'm also continuing D&D Curse of Strahd, so we will continue that. So if you want Halloween, I got your Halloween going on right there. But that's what's going to be going on. And of course, I'll see you back here on Tuesday for episode 150 of Pen and Pixels. Big episode next week. Episode 150 of Pen and Pixels as we continue with Thronebreaker. That's going to do it for me. I want to thank everyone who was awesome tonight. Thank you to the wonderful mods. Thank you to everyone who managed the bot. Thank you to Echo for the streamer introduction. Thank yous all around. You folks are all wonderful people. And I will see all of you wonderful people at some indeterminate point in the future, by which I mean within the next couple of days. Until then, thanks everybody. Everyone have a happy and safe Halloween. Hope everyone gets lots of treats and not a lot of tricks. And I will see you back here very soon. Until then, have a good one. Bye for now.
searching though I don't know.